more sense here. I'm starting to kind of like put this together. I'm very interested in AI, but I'm still a smooth brain degen at the end of the day. So I have to make sure put it together in a way that I can understand. But you did a perfect job. So thank you so much for that. I think we also wanted to talk a little bit about like the adoption side of this. Like, who do you see using this? Have developers already picked this up? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we had over 5,000 downloads since I went live. So I started building Clued or started designing Clued back in August, September of last year. Um, Started building behind the scenes and actually only went so-called live on X uh, only in January. So in January itself, we already crossed 5,000 downloads. We have about 500 and last count is 560 active users that's actually using it right now. um, Majority of the cases are actually in trading. So it's quite interesting, and I just wanted to share. Someone's actually using it for poly market trading. So
Nice.
how it works is that, uh, and this is also another topic. I'm sorry, I could get a little bit excited,
No,
but
no, please.
yeah, with memory, with with memory, we are actually enabling our agents to learn, right? So we always talk about agents self-learning and stuff like that, but how do you actually learn without having the memory? So what a lot of people are doing right now on the poly market trade is that um, the agents actually remember. For example, if you feed an algorithm, the agents actually remember things like, for example, last time there was a Fed rate decision, the odds shifted 20%, for example, in
Mhm.
final hour, right? Or every time a certain journalist tweets about an election, the market overreacts by 5%. The example again, and it corrects within 30 minutes. So we can actually take that and we actually reinforce the algorithm that you put in through memory. So the agent doesn't actually just run through an algorithm and it's static, right? It refines the algorithm based on what actually happened, and it remembers what signals were noise and which ones, I guess, printed, right? So which markets behave like the previous one, which patterns held, etc. So yeah, and this kind of brings me to another point as well, which is an area that we are going to be looking at as well. Is essentially a knowledge marketplace. So think of it as a global library. So agents can actually share their memory, share their knowledge. And when we say this is not just a skill, so you actually share the experience, the mistakes that you've learned, that you committed, and how you tweak and adjusted it into a more, I guess, a cohesive kind of a memory pack or skill pack, right? So your agent figure out something about how sports market behave. You can actually sell that, you can trade that, and we are going to be using Clue as a token for that.
Very nice. I guess that's another. So that's one kind of utility. Like, tell us a little bit more about like any other kind of economics that you might have around the token itself.
Yeah. So besides the trading on the marketplace, right now we are, and I'm still trying to iron out the tokenomics piece. I'm not a tokenomics expert, but we are going to be using Qt as well as the currency to store your memory, to retrieve your memory as well. And essentially, it becomes like the knowledge slash memory currency in that sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I want to pop in here and ask about this because I see a lot of tweets talking about your benchmark numbers and how you like drastically can improve some of these. Again, smooth brain, non-technical guys. If you're talking to that like that cohort of people here, like explain some of these benchmarks and how Clued is greatly improving these models.
Yeah. So two key benchmarks. One is your hallucination, and another is your retrieval accuracy. So I'll just quickly share about the hallucination part. So hallucination, for those who might not be too familiar, is when your AI agents actually cook up something that is non-existent because it's forced to give a response to you. So just to give you an example, the other day I was installing another OpenClaw agent. I'm installing a ton of them, and I asked the agent to install Clue, right? So it went to the site and it actually said that Clue was a legal AI legal assistant essentially.
Okay,
And I was like, where did that come from? And it even has like, for monthly price subscription, it's $30 and stuff like that. So it basically hallucinated a whole story,
just
a
made it
whole
up.
product. Yeah, it just made it up. Yeah, exactly, because it couldn't find the exact information that it wanted to. So with Clue, and this is a double-edged sword, we made it so that uh, if there's a certain confidence level that it's not sure, it would just say, I don't know, or I can't find it, rather than try to cook up a story. So the downside to that is that there's this other metric that we call the omission rate, where the agents just say that, like, I don't know, I can't get the answer for you. So our omission rate is higher than I would say it's actually at the mid tier. So it's at about 30%. The average is around 26, 27%. So we aren't too bad. But um, our hallucination rate is actually 2%. So to put that into comparison, the next best solution out there is at 15%.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, if you scale this up to hundreds and thousands of memories, especially you're doing high stakes stuff like trading and stuff like that, you wouldn't want your agent to hallucinate certain market actions or events that hasn't happened,
Of course.
and that kind of influence the strategy and algorithm, right? So yeah, we rather the agent say that they do not know than cook something up and affect that. So that's that. And on the retrieval accuracy piece, we are actually in the top 1 percentile. We are 88% retrieval accuracy. So this is something that I think it can still be improved. The first spot is actually at 96%. So there's still probably some way to go there. But every time when we improve something, something else has to give. So we are just trying to find that sweet spot.
And
But right now,
and
based on benchmark for like I guess half a month, half a year project, I would say that we are placed right at the top
Wow.
end of solutions out there right now.
so you guys are doing so just correct me if I'm wrong here. When you talk about retrieval, the retrieval benchmarks, retrieval is like fetching data,
Yep, fetching the data.
and you guys are in the top 1% as far as your
Yep.
benchmarks versus all AI models.
Yeah, exactly. And
Wow.
another point to add to that is that if you recall the part about how we do the retrieval as compared to other people doing the retrieval, we do it at 88% retrieval accuracy at a tenth of the cost, because we are able to do the filtering and pulling out whatever that's the most relevant and then querying through it rather than searching all 200,000 tokens like I mentioned in the example through that. So we are doing it like a cent versus up to $12 if you're using GPT-4.
This is crazy. I love seeing the benchmarks because it gives you a real way to measure this stuff. And it's impressive
Yeah.
what you've done in half a year. So congratulations. You should pat yourself on the back for that. I think the question everybody's asking, and this is like a big blue ocean market. What's the TAM on this AI market? What's the TAM on something that you're working on here, or what you're working on here? And like, how are you guys gonna capture that in a meaningful way?
Yeah, so the addressable market right now, it's in, if I get my numbers correct, in 2025 it was 9 billion, but it's targeted, or no, sorry, it's 6 billion. So in 2026 it's going to be 9 billion this year, and then by 2030 it's going to be 33 billion. So basically it's growing at a CAGR of about 39%.
And this
So
is the addressable market for agent memory, or what's
agent memory, yeah,
Okay.
just agent memory. So this is something that is, I've also talked about this quite a lot on how it's really underserved, because most of the, I would say 99% of the funds that the big tech is putting in is to make their models more intelligent, making it faster. But if you look at the fundings from the memory players last year, it's like less than 100 million. So it's like it's less than a rounding error in total in the overall sum of the game.
Mhm.
So yeah, the broader AI agent markets it's growing at an exponential rate, as we can all tell. And I feel that memory is really a foundational hygiene kind of thing that all agents would need, right? So to one of your earlier questions in terms of who is this applicable for and who can use this, basically anyone that's running AI or AI agents essentially. So if you're running a video generation content kind of thing, uh, hallucinations might cause you to generate something that's wrong, right? That could be application for Clued. If you're trading, I kind of gone into that as well, and so many other things as well.
Very interesting stuff. Can you talk us through a bit of the tech stack here? Venice AI is one we've been super interested in recently. I just love their private system and the way they're also offering like the VVV tokens for staking for compute, like for lifetime. Really cool stuff. Can you talk us through the tech stack here and who you're working with, what you're using exactly?
Yeah, so Venice is is a product that I really like as well. And when Clued launched, I think one of the first integrations that we did was actually immediately with Venice, and that is because I'm also a huge advocate for data privacy. So right now, just quickly on the privacy part, that the memories, the content that you generate through your ChatGPT, your Claude, all of those kind of don't belong to you, right? They all kind of sit in the respective company servers and stuff like that. They decide what to remember. They decide, they can delete it, they can train it, and you kind of have zero control on that. So, you early in the stream, you guys talk about sovereign memory, right? So, sovereign memory really means that the memory belongs to you and not the model itself. Venice has already built such a capable infrastructure in place that it only makes sense for us to leverage on that. So, our inference layer, so it actually include the part where we read the text and try to understand that. That layer is entirely powered by Venice. So it's completely anonymous to users. And just earlier today, I actually teased and showed about our chat interface. So moving forward, there's going to be almost like an OpenAI, a ChatGPT equivalent, but it's going to be powered by Venice. So it's going to be completely anonymous, but we are adding that Clued's memory layer on top of that as well. So you accumulate your memories. You can keep the memories for yourself. You can bring it around. If you are going to, let's say, Gemini tomorrow, you are able to extract all those memories, throw it into Gemini. You don't need to retrain it or teach it your preferences again. It will instantly remember and know whatever context that you have previously that you did with Glue.
This is really interesting because I think one of the biggest factors for sticking with a specific LLM is just having to transfer all that memory. And so you have like, these metrics on switching costs, right? What does it actually cost to switch from model to model? Because we know they're evolving so quick, and maybe Claude Code's great one day and Codex is the best option the next, right? And so switching costs kind of becomes the moat there. How can I keep users on our platform, even if it's slightly lacking compared to the others? Is that kind of the moat for you guys where it's like, look, we know people are going to be jumping from LLM to LLM. We want to make sure switching is as seamless as possible.
Yeah, so I would say memory is really the mode here overall. It's a very broad picture. But we also recognize that we had to make this as frictionless as possible. So that's also something that I'm still working on in terms of installation and stuff like that. Because if you're going to go to my wife, for example, and ask her to do an npm install of Glue, she wouldn't have any idea. So we're working on that. But the most immediate impact that we see that we can do, it's very basically just exporting your memory from one and importing it into the other. So Claude just launched a function for you to import your memories just last week. But if you look at the existing AI models today, if ChatGPT, Gemini, there's actually an area where you can manage your memories. And you see that actually the memories that they have is not really memories. They're all just bullet points of your preferences and profile. And sometimes it's not accurate as well. And you're actually just extracting those bullet points and just putting in another. Whereas for Clued, we are bringing that full stack of memory that you gathered, like I mentioned again, the little details that you have, and actually taking all of that and giving it to the AI model. So, in terms of details, fidelity is going to be much richer as well. And it's just a very simple click of a button, export, and then, you're going to import it in. And just, I guess, a little additional stuff that I want to share as well in terms of the memory piece that we're doing, or memory packs, as I call it, is that we are building a way for you to selectively retrieve certain memories as well. So with your AI agents, you could be talking a bunch of stuff, but if you want to retrieve, for example, specific memory on how to bake a banana muffin, for example, you don't need to retrieve that whole, a million memories and stuff like that. You are able to just retrieve just that selective, 10,000 memories or 1,000 memories and stuff like that. And then, take that, extract it, modularize it, and, do whatever you want. Feed it into another AI if you want. You want to put it on a knowledge marketplace if you want to as well. You could do that. So yeah, that's also coming up in soon.
Love it. Love that, Alpha. We're coming up on time here. I wish we could just jump in your brain and get everything out there, but 35 minutes isn't really enough to do that. So I'm going to ask you quickly, what's on your roadmap? What are you guys working on right now? I think you kind of just gave us a little insight to that, but maybe add to whatever you can.
Yeah. So right now, is it okay if I share my screen?
Oh, please. Oh my gosh. Yes.
We love demos. We love when founders share their screens. It's just a little plus sign
Yeah,
at
I
the
was
bottom.
just trying to find an opportunity to do that. So thanks for.
Oh, perfect. Let it rip.
Yeah. So this is what I'm building right now. It's a dashboard of your agent's memories essentially. And this is just one of the agents that I have. So over here, you can kind of see a live feed of, if it's processing something, what is it thinking, and what is it consolidating and stuff like that. So I kind of built like a timeline. So if you want to put it bluntly, it's a log of all the memories as well. Yeah, you can sort it by episodic, semantic, like what I mentioned. This is the part about the ancestry, about a certain decision and how it was influenced by other actions as well. You can retrieve that as well. This is the decay. What were the stuff that actually got rid of, essentially? And this is the memory packs piece that I mentioned. So yeah, you can just basically, do a test. What are you exporting for? Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. And then yeah, you just basically click export. And still in the works, but yeah, that's what we are trying to do right now. So we can export that, and yeah, you can even export it as a markdown format if you want to as well, and you can import other memories in as well. So this is the most immediate thing that I'm working on right now, and yeah, it should be ready, in the next couple of days.
Who's seen this dashboard?
Yeah, sorry.
Who's seen this dashboard before? Is this the
Nobody.
first time you're showing it?
The MCG exclusive?
MTG exclusive, yeah.
Let's
And you know
go,
what?
let's
Actually, I've never really doxed myself as well on stream. So yeah, double exclusive, I guess.
Look at that. I didn't even know. Well, it's perfect. Love to see it. This is great. Well, that's amazing. I guess my last question before we maybe do quick community questions is, how are you planning on reaching an audience with this? Obviously, you can have the best product in the world, you can have the best use case, but you have to be able to get it out there to the people that need it most. What's your go-to-market with that?
Yeah, so we are targeting on the developer community quite a bit. So I'm based in Singapore. So I'm actually actively reaching out to the local developer communities here in Singapore, of course. on the Web3 side of things, there's really been quite a couple of people that is helping me test out, getting the word out as well. I'm also trying to get more on socials, like your YouTube tech reviewers. A lot of people are talking about OpenClaw, AI, and stuff like that. I hope to get Clued front and center over there as well. I just listed on Product Hunt as well, waiting for the approval. And yeah, I think right now it's building the awareness piece is really critical. Separately, we are also engaging with the small and medium enterprises here in Singapore in terms of adopting a solution, because I think one of the biggest use case that we are providing to them is really the cost savings piece. So yeah.
Very, very good. Community questions, and then we'll let you run.
Sure.
Is it fair to say Clued is tokenizing resolved API calls? Question from Crypto Jones. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. So similar to like how using VVV as an example, right? How DM kind of powers that entire economy. Clued will basically be the same. So I'm careful to say that Clued is any sort of token, because you guys mentioned about how the securities in the US, how you guys are defining it, and then also for Clued, it's from a utility perspective, you are using it for storing of your memory, retrieving, and powering the entire memory infrastructure essentially.
Sweet. Last question here. You touched on the tokenomics a little bit, but maybe a little more on that. Crypto G369 has some more clarification. Sounds like a cool concept. How and why is the purpose of the token?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. What's the purpose?
Yeah. No worries. Crypto G369 says, looks like a super cool concept. How and why is the purpose of the token? Maybe you could just give us a little more on that.
Oh yeah. So like I mentioned, the token is going to power the the end-to-end of your memory ecosystem essentially. So the part about retrieving a memory, paying to store your memory, all of those is going to be powered by Clued. So that is, I guess, the purpose of the token. I'm not sure if I answered the question correctly, but
I think that's great.
Yeah, if there's follow-up questions, feel free to just DM me, add me on Telegram, join the Telegram community. I'm quite active there. I'll reply. So
wonderful.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Amazing stream. Maru says, congratulations on the Coliseum most agentic win. I didn't even know that happened. But congratulations on that. That's huge.
All right, thanks. I didn't know that as well.
Okay, well, we're all learning this in real time then. If that's true. But Seb, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Really exciting.
Thanks.
Who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours! There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not. Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's great.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that.
All right, GM. Pre-show video just glitching out a little bit there, guys. Sorry about that. Missed out on the hype. I do not know why.
Can you sing it for us? Can you sing it for us instead, Josh?
Right. Yeah, right. No singing capabilities. GM, happy Monday. Dom, what's up? How you doing?
Doing good, man. You know, the classic Trump taco situation's going on here. Chickening out as usual. We see the market close. I think within about an hour, we got some, acceleration on President Trump's end with Iran. And then just here as markets were opening, Trump, within the last couple hours says, well, we're actually ceasing fire here for 5 days until market closes again, because we're having peace negotiations. And Iran's over here saying, no, we're not having peace negotiations. You're backing down. And so we're seeing the classic, Trump always chickens out situation here, the taco situation. And, I'm sure Josh can add to that, but lots going on in the markets. Gold was down 3.5%, 4% today. Silver was down, officially in a bear market with those commodities. Oil also down. So interesting correlation here. Typically your safe haven assets are actually not getting correlated. Bunch to talk about, man. Iran charging $2 million for passage through the Strait of Hormuz in a tariff form, which is really interesting. I mean, there's just a lot happened over the weekend here. Chill, what's up, buddy?
Yo, GMCG. What's up, guys? GM. Hope your weekend was well. Hope you guys are doing good. Yeah, dude, lots to talk about here.
Dude,
a lot going on.
Gotta tell you, this weekend did a little 2-man scramble for a bachelor party. -2, bro. Shot -2 through 18, dude. Let's go. Best round, probably my best round ever. So, proud of that. Had to, share with the boys.
He's got no kids, no wife, so he's shooting good golf.
Shooting straight.
That's right. All right, let's hop into it. So I do have a take on this, and this was the trilemma that I think really summarizes what's going on right now in the Mideast: markets, munitions, and midterms. So this is the trilemma that I'm paying attention in, the three kind of areas that I think are important. Obviously, oil prices are, kind of the talk of the town, but these are the three things that we need to look at. This is what really moves the needle in terms of policy posturing and what the president is saying. So number one, markets, obviously oil and the stock market generally is probably one of the leading things that he looks at. But there's also munitions, and what this is the interceptors and all the munitions that are being used for air defense take, I think the Patriot system, they create like 60 of those missiles per year, or of specific types of missiles. The THAAD launchers are coming from Asia over to the Mideast. So there clearly is a limitation where they can't keep up sending missile interceptors forever, and they are running low on munitions. We knew this was a problem in the Ukraine war, and it's just become even more of a problem now. And then midterms, obviously the domestic political pressure is mounting heavily, and people, this war is not super popular on both sides of the political spectrum. And Trump ran on the promise of no new wars. And so that's just kind of like a bit of a political reality. So I think these three things are kind of what pressure it. But what do you look at? Because this is kind of one of the really scary things that we've seen, which is the bond yield of the 5-year U.S. bond yield just ripping here. I mean, this is a 3.5 to 4.1. This is a 65 basis point move in less in 3 weeks. So to move 65 bips in 3 weeks is quite alarming. The same thing is happening with bond yields around the world. And why is this important? It's because when in Canada specifically, we have a record number of mortgages that are renewing this year. It's a little different than the US where you can take out a 30-year mortgage, but even in the US, mortgages are going up, and that just puts pressure on people's disposable income, but also pressure on the housing market, and also the ability for businesses to borrow money, as well as private credit, et cetera. So, yields moving kind of can really, really hurt the liquidity in the market. Don't know if you have a thought on that, but this is kind of what I'm watching. Like oil, of course, but the oil trades, everyone's talking about the oil trade. Not a lot of people talking about this.
Can you walk us through the implications of this? Because like you said, 65 bips here in the last short period of time is very significant. What happens once, we see treasury bonds get above 5%? Like, what are the implications here?
I think it's
Also,
just what
sorry, I believe
what
Iran
the,
also said they would also bomb anyone that is buying U.S. Treasury bonds. So that's also like a new tactic they've implemented. I'm not sure if you saw that, but sorry.
yeah. I mean, a lot of the news I find is just so noisy. It's you can't really think of it on a news by news basis because it changes so quickly. Like even today, it's like, oh, we're negotiating. Well, no one's negotiating. Oh, the Parliament House is negotiating. Like it's just the speaker or whatever the Parliament was negotiating. It's just all over the place. Too hard to follow. But I think this is just the market sniffing out that because oil prices are higher, it creates more inflation, and the Fed needs to react to that. So everyone came in a month ago thinking, okay, maybe we get a little more dovish, maybe we get some rate cuts. We bring the yield from 425 bips down into the threes. Like that's good for markets. Now we're headed in the other direction. We might be seeing rate hikes, right? Bank of Canada says maybe, or the market's pricing 3 rate hikes. And already there's a weak consumer spending, weak economy, and weak housing market on our side. For you guys, I think it's fairly similar in terms of like consumer sentiment is all-time lows, right? Like we've seen the consumer just not feel good. Housing market is slow in the US. So rates increasing into this kind of stagflation environment is not great, I don't think.
Yeah, here, I mean, to add, just because you're on this topic here, this note, here's a little tweet from the Kobisi letter here talking about the U.S. housing. So I'm not sure if you have an opinion on that, but I'm just gonna open it up here. I guess I'll read this. U.S. housing market demand is collapsing. New U.S. home sales fell 17.6% month on month in January to 587,000 units, the lowest since 2022. I mean, that's significantly higher than expected, right? This marks the largest monthly drop since July 2013, far worse than the 2.7 expected. Okay, so again, that's 17.6% month-on-month decline versus a 2.7%, which was expected. The year-on-year sales fell 11.3%, the worst annual decline in 3 years. The Northeast was hit the hardest, with sales plunging 44.7% month-on-month, followed by the Midwest at 33.9%. Furthermore, the median new home price fell 6.8% year on year to $400K, the lowest since 2024, bringing a 3-month average down to 410,000, the lowest since 2022. Meanwhile, mortgage rates have jumped 33 basis points, as we covered, over the last 2 weeks, and 6.43, the highest since September, marking the largest 2-week increase in nearly a year. Higher interest rates are back. So I just kind of felt like jumping in and adding that to Josh's point here. Not sure if you have anything to say about that.
Nope. No, I think we've covered it. So anyways, that's
crazy
just
numbers.
the things to look out for. I think that's the environment that we're in, and maybe I'll flip her over to Chill. I don't know, Chill, if you have a reaction there.
I mean, so what is this? I guess what is this saying? Like, are we headed to recession? Like, is our economy cooked? Like, what does this all mean? That's my question.
You know what, dude? I think like what even is define a recession at this point? We've been in technical recessions since
Mhm.
I mean
Yeah.
for the last 2-3 years, right? And that changed a little bit in the Biden administration. He made a new standard for what a recession was. I mean, ultimately, dude, what happens, and we've seen it, is we're gonna get a bailout, right? If things get that bad, the United States starts printing money, just like we saw during COVID, and it's gonna lead to short-term stimulus with long-term impacts on just brutal inflation. So I don't know. I think we kind of just continue in that cycle of, okay, things get really bad. We cut rates, print money, and then inflation is really, really bad. But the short term, everyone feels good, right? So that's kind of like the cycle I feel like we're stuck in.
Yeah, want to see another interesting data point. So, and I did see someone talk about this briefly on the timeline, but this is, you'll see this here first on MCG. So if you look at the search term mortgage help, and this is live Google Analytics, you can see it obviously spiked here in March of 2009, which was basically the low of the last bear market. And it spiked again here in 2020. So this is the height of COVID, you know, people potentially losing their jobs or a lot of fear. And then now look at it. It's absolutely ripped. So from, I guess this is mid 2025 because it's not showing me that data point. But
Share my screen when you're done.
it is spiked back to the highs in 2008. So again, like I agree, like not more we're not in a recession officially, no one will admit it, but the numbers here are alarming for sure.
And it's crazy. Great minds think alike. Me and Josh were actually
Oh
kind of
yeah.
on the same wave with that. So if you switch to help with mortgage, like that has exceeded the highs, the Google search highs back from back in 2008. So it's exceeded the peak from when we had that global financial crisis. So yeah, I mean, you know what? I guess what that means is, you know, potentially, you know, money printer is what I would point to, right? Like that's typically what happens, or what the government's reaction is to any sort of sickness to the economy. So I guess that's bullish. I guess that's bullish, but I'm not. You know, I'm just kind of. I'm more relying on Josh's guidance here on some of this macro stuff, and I'll stick to the charts.
Well, there's two ways to think of this, maybe, and Dom will get your reaction, but what would be bad here? So he sent out a message saying, "Hey, we're negotiating, trying to walk back some of the, you know, oil opening super high, etc." I think what would be bad is if oil spikes here and just kind of reads out the BS and says, "Look, nothing matters except for moving molecules through the Strait of Hormuz," and that doesn't look like it's resolved anytime soon, and that would be bad. So almost like they are losing control. I think them losing control at this moment is going to be tough. So
Yeah, I mean, dude, and the whipsaw we're seeing in oil is absolutely crazy. Down 7.3% on the day, was down much more. I mean, like I've never seen anything like this. The amount of volatility we have in something like oil and something like gold and silver is truly mind-boggling. And like it kind of puts us over at our next point here. Look what JP Morgan had to say. I think this was really, really fascinating. So I will share my screen here. JP Morgan had this to say, and again, like testament to hyperliquid because we're seeing it. And again, when we get these pauses with President Trump, hey, we're in negotiation with Iran. We're going to pause for 5 days here, give them a bit of a buffer period. Again, the trading activity goes to hyperliquid and these markets that are open on the weekend. So look at this, man. This is some BSCN, which is, I think, a Binance news source. Okay. So just take that how you will. JP Morgan. Okay. The Iran war broke traditional oil markets and traders fled to a crypto exchange, Hyperliquid. Again, this is JP Morgan talking about this. When Iranian strikes hit over a weekend and the CME was closed, traders had nowhere to go except Hyperliquid. Per JP Morgan, the platform's oil perpetual contracts hit 1.7 billion in daily peak volume and 300 million in open interest, nearly 250x the volume it saw before the first bombs fell, per Fortune. It became Hyperliquid's third most traded product overnight, driven entirely by non-crypto investors seeking 24/7 oil exposure while Wall Street slept. JP Morgan called a structural shift, DeFi taking market share from traditional exchanges simply by staying open when they weren't. I mean, and it is pretty crazy to see this happening in real time. And part of this is, of course, also gold and silver, you know, markets that are traditionally closed over the weekend. So again, crazy to see Hyperliquid take that, but 1.7 billion. And, you know, we looked at this last week as well. Hyperliquid, their most traded asset is now not even crypto by like a significant margin. It is commodities, right? It is oil, it is gold, it is silver. So pretty crazy stuff.
maybe this is a good area to pivot to wrap up kind of this geopolitical thing. So Hyperliquid, flight to safety here. I see Grayscale this morning filing for a hype ETF, which I think will be extremely popular and people will look to get exposure. But let's get back to kind of macro and stuff here. I don't know if you had any other news to report
Yeah,
on.
I don't know. I want to get some clean clips. So do you want to run through the flow here? Maybe Josh, if you want to start with some of those tweets I sent you, or do you think that's covered pretty good?
Yeah, I think we have it covered pretty good. I think again, the interest rate thing is the one to watch. And if oil rebounds here, gets back above $100 and the tweets can't bring it down, the markets are in trouble. Chill. Or do you, yeah, let's do macro. Like even let's start with hype, because you guys called out at $42 to be like chill on hype, not to use Chill's name, but like chill on hype and wait for the dip. And we're getting the dip on hype. I don't know if we want to kind of pull up that analysis.
Yeah, let's definitely do macro, because everything's kind of up and down. Bitcoin's doing really well today.
Crypto Jones, let's remember what was the lead up to the 2008 crash: Afghanistan, Iraq wars. Now it's Ukraine and Iran. I think that's fairly accurate.
Same-ish, different toilet. Oh, man.
Let's
Yeah.
do macro. You got it pulled up, Joe?
Let's run it. Yeah, I got my charts pulled up here. Yeah, we can start with hype. I told you guys basically like this red line was kind of where I'm looking to see hype on a bounce. Actually, we can flip this green because this is now potential support. But and I'm sorry, my OCD would not allow me with these colors. But yeah, so we're coming back down to an area of interest. So here's what I'm looking for on a high time frame with Hyperliquid. This green line is kind of where our support is. We haven't been above this line. The last time we were above it was back in December, right? So a significant level to break above, and now that we've broken through it, we're back testing, right? Because here we tested we tested these regions here, and let me switch the color for you guys. Boom, so you can see it. We tested that here, we tested that here, and we tested that here. The first two were underside tests, and so now we've broken through. We're coming in for the back test here. What it looks like. So, there is a potential if you're spot. This is a really great area, to start DCAing. If you're looking for leveraged longs, I think that's a different story, right? Like we need to look for more signs of reversal because we could potentially break below this level, right? Same thing we did here. Let me erase some of these circles so I can show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. If you look at here, right, we are kind of basically doing something. We're basically doing something very similar. So what we have in the circle at the bottom there is, again, similar structure as right now. We've broken above a key area. We've we've tested it on the downside twice. We broke through. We retested it on the upside. But as you can see, many of these tests we drop below the key support level, right? Didn't go there, didn't last long, right? Didn't stay there for a long time, but we still broke below that level. So that's why I say if you're playing leverage, you kind of have to be a little bit more picky about your entries. You have to be a little bit more surgical, if you will, with some of these setups. So if you're spot, obviously spot, you can just DCA this whole thing, right? Like, whether you're DCAing every day or you're DCAing like, every 8 hours, 12 hours, whatever you're comfortable with. But these are some attractive levels. You want to be buying Hyperliquid dips, especially with everything going on around volumes for Hyperliquid. Literally a 0 to 1 moment for a crypto product. So there you have it. That's the breakdown there on Hyperliquid. Love where we are right now, and I'll absolutely be looking for some leverage longs on Hyperliquid. And actually, now that I'm live, let's actually set an alert. If we do fall below this, market structure break, I want to keep an eye on it. Okay, so that's Hyperliquid. Let's go back to Bitcoin here. Bitcoin,
Chill. What was the price on that? I'm just gonna write it in a note because we have this
yeah.
amazing clip of you saying exactly this on Friday. So I just want to reply to that and let everyone know. So you have $36 there.
Yeah, call it 37. Call it 36.5.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So now we flip to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, same thing as we've been saying here for a long time now. We basically said that Bitcoin is looking to go towards the green box, right? So ultimately, high time frame still bearish on Bitcoin. That has not changed. I don't think that will change unless we tag a sub 60K level down here in the green box. Now, I say that with a caveat because obviously, price can still push up, right? Price can still kind of linger a little bit higher, especially when you have, the top KOL of 2026 tweeting out about, markets. Um, and he can essentially pump the entire market. So what I'm saying, I say all of this to say you can't really do TA on these things. If Trump's tweet will affect the market and cause things to go up a lot further than they would have without that tweet, like that's not something you can see in TA, right? So you have to kind of take that into consideration. These tweets, whether the information he's talking about is real or not, will cause the chart to go up or down depending on if it's perceived as bullish or bearish. So could we get a pump? I'm okay with a pump as high as 80K. I don't think we go that high, to be honest, but I'm okay with it because ultimately I still think these blue arrows here, those are still untapped lows that we need to revisit. I'm still looking for a double bottom sub at 60 or sub 60K. So that's Bitcoin. Ethereum, I mean, not Ethereum, Solana. Basically the same thing as I've been kind of telling you guys. Like we've been in this downtrend. If you look on the 3-day, it becomes on the 2-day rather, it becomes very, very clear. We have not broken out of this downtrend since September 2025, right? So until we break out, I'm kind of just leaning on the bearish side, and I'm going to be cautious as we get closer to these resistance levels. And now you see it's coming up against kind of two resistances at the same time. So we'll stay cautious there. What I am looking for is basically like either a breakout and retest of the line here, the downtrend, or like a breakout and retest of the market structure here. So I know that kind of looks a little confusing. So let me just run through that again. A breakout here and a retest of some lower level, whether it be the downtrend, whether it be the level at 70, call it $78, right? Or maybe we break out and we retest the market structure break at $90. So either way, I'm just watching and waiting. I don't think you need to be in a position every day. I think sometimes the trade is just sitting on your hands. And so that's exactly what I'm doing here with Solana. But, don't be fooled, right? Like, don't get it twisted. I am looking to go long as much as possible, but this is just not the time for it right now. Ethereum, kind of similar as Bitcoin. I'm waiting on ETH price action to actually pick up on a much higher time frame on the weekly. I think ETH is at an attractive level. If you follow the account Looks Onchain, you actually notice that what's that guy's name? Is it Stanley? Guy with the black hair, Asian dude with glasses that's has the Ethereum DAT. I forgot his name. Tom Lee. There you
Oh,
go.
Tom
Not
Lee. Oh,
Stanley.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Tom
say
Lee.
Stanley, but
Stanley,
no.
yeah,
Stanley
Stanley came to my
Steamer.
mind. But yeah, as we can see here, Tom Lee, he bought another 140 million in Ethereum to his and he
What a
now holds
goat, though. Just
10
like
bill.
he's like that Greek dude holding up the world. Like that's
Yes.
this guy in Sailor.
Yes. So I'm still just waiting on ETH to show signs of life, but keep in mind, like I mentioned last week on last week's Trader Radio, number one, Ethereum, very low supply on exchange reserves. We are at multi-year lows in terms of available supply, right? So keep that in mind. there is a sort of like supply shock if demand comes back for Ethereum. Not right now, but it will in the future. Still holding to um, my 15K target for Ethereum, holding strong to that. Um, Looking at Fartcoin here, again, similar position as Hyperliquid. Um, if you're a spot, probably a great place to buy here if you're bullish on Hyperliquid. But we drew out this green box on Friday, I believe it was. It was sometime during last week's show. I told you guys this is the area that I'm looking for. Now that we're here, the other thing that I'm looking for is signs of reversal. So an SFP ideally would be what I would want to kind of look for here, but still watching and waiting here on this chart. So, but again, very bullish. Just need to see a little bit. But I told you guys I'm watching four majors. Farcoin was one of them. The second would be Tau breaking out of this pseudo bull flag, if you want to call it, but looking absolutely strong. I didn't trade this one on leverage because they only have 5x available on Hyperliquid. I want to trade something with at least 10x leverage. Just call me being a reckless degen. We talked about Hyperliquid earlier. The last one would just be ZEC. I believe Dom, you showed me some was it revenue numbers on ZEC,
I mean, Blockworks
or like
posted
there
a
was like
quarterly
some quarterly
report.
report?
Yeah, yeah. Which I just figured, probably you would like to dig into since you're a Zach Bull here. I don't have
Yeah,
it
I
pulled up
didn't
though.
get a chance to dig into it. Okay, I didn't get a chance to dig into it pre-stream. Here are some of the high-level numbers in this Blockworks report. Basically, 87% shielded supply in Orchid pools. They have, almost 3x. They've over 3x their shielded transactions in Q4. They have 25,000 wallet installs. So as you can see, kind of adoption is picking up here. And then also volume has, 10,000%. That's over an 11x, 10x in terms of average daily
Wild.
volume. So, the just some high level numbers there on ZEC. So obviously from a fundamental standpoint, it's looking good. The chart is still at the lows essentially. It's been stuck inside this range here since it broke into it back in February. So multi-week range, breakout of a multi-month downtrend, still looking for that. But it's coming back and testing a pretty key level here. Not a bad place to go long. Not a bad place to go long, in my opinion, but obviously a great place to DCA spot. So those are the four majors that I'm looking at. As you guys know, as far as majors go, I trade those on leverage. So I try to, give you some spot analysis as well, but that's what I'm looking at. Some strong, very, very strong altcoins out there, some strong majors ahead of a potential, double bottom here. So great assets to keep watching as price action develops.
Perfect. Good macro segment. Maybe what I'll do here is 10 minutes. I'll try to hit you guys with all the news you should be keeping up with in the markets. So, kind of to recap what we were talking about earlier, we mentioned the Iran situation, Trump kind of backing out the back and forth there with Iran putting $2 million tariffs on anything coming through the strait. Trump saying we're in peace talks, the 5-day halt on, any sort of attacks on Iran, Iran saying there is no peace talks going on, just a back and forth there. We covered that. We covered gold, silver, and oil, so I'm not going to harp on that too much. But Zero Hedge has an interesting take on it. He said the momentum implosion accelerates. Silver down 3% to $65 and almost 50% from its all-time highs less than 2 months ago, as the same HFT ETF market makers that pulled the market higher are now pushing the market lower. And you can see he's got the Bloomberg terminal open here with some stats. Now, if you remember on that, we actually were talking about gold and silver back about 2 months ago, pretty much towards the blow off top there. And I think I remember saying directly this: we are getting to a point in the cycle where we're hitting those headline numbers, right? $5,000 gold, headline numbers on silver. And, typically that's the top, right? People are lining up to buy this stuff at Costco. We nailed the top pretty much perfectly on that. I talked about how I was exiting some of my silver position So that's aged very, very well. In other news, Doomer put something interesting out there, and Josh maybe has a take on this. I think this is probably a short. But Doomer posted this. The odds of a nuclear attack by the end of April 2026 rise to 86% on prediction markets. That feels like very, very short amount of time.
That's a
here.
short for sure.
That's a short. 86%. Now, I'm not sure if that's Kalshi or Polymarket. This says prediction markets plural, so maybe both of them. But that looks like a short to me. I think the closer we get into April, again, that's basically giving you a month. The less likely, this is probably going to go down. I don't want to see nukes, of course, so maybe I'm biased there, but this just seems way overpriced.
That's way mispriced. I'm going to try and find that market.
Yeah, maybe while I go through this, see if you can pull that up, because I have a hard time believing this, but Doomer's typically, pretty accurate. Interesting news as well. The Pentagon to adopt
Also, real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on, can you also, while you're looking at Polymarket, let's look for a trade on oil. We had an incredible take. Let's see if there's any trades on yields for treasury bills or oil. But yeah, go ahead, Dom. Sorry.
No, I love that. Interesting tweet from the Pentagon from Unusual Whales, who here also gives pretty good news. Pentagon to adopt Palantir AI as a core U.S. military system per Reuters. Why is this important? Because we remember the recent attacks on Iran, the original attacks, use Claude code to plan this out. And you can see here, this is a bit more on that. So Palantir AI plus Claude was used to detect, prioritize, and strike over 1,000 targets in the first 24 hours of operations against Iran. The success was so ridiculous, so game-changing that the Pentagon didn't even wait. What used to be just a pilot project, just something they were testing out, suddenly became an official, permanent, and everywhere. Palantir is now the core AI brain of the entire U.S. military. It's getting rolled out across all branches. This is kind of scary. Interesting stuff with Peter Thiel that he's doing with Palantir. There's also, some people hate Palantir, some people like it. I know Fishback, who's running for Florida, is very against Palantir, wants them out of Miami. They just relocated. But I just thought this was interesting, man. We're in a new age of warfare, and AI is quickly getting used and implemented. And I think whoever implements it the best will have a significant edge over there. After we have our interview with Miata today, we're going to talk a bit more about some stuff Peter Thiel's doing that's really, really interesting that I want to get into. I digress, though. In other news, Cointelegraph says the NYSE exchange scrapes 25,000 contract positions, limit on 11 Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF options per federal registration filing. Now, you're probably like, what the heck does that mean? Grok explains it here. This removes a temporary 25K contract cap on options for 11 major Bitcoin and ETH spot ETFs. Big institutions can now hold far longer positions under the standard equity rules, often 250 plus contracts based on liquidity. So this is good. Of course, increases those limits. We want institutions to come. Bitcoin news, and you guys feel free to butt in whenever you have more info on what we talked about earlier. Bitcoin news rolled this out. Coinbase rolled out its X402 protocol this week, partnering with Sam Altman's World to verify human identity behind AI agents transactions. This one keeps popping up quite a bit. This verification layer for AI, right? This World. So, Tether's, of course, making moves on that with Sam Altman. In other news, USDC just hit a 52-week all-time high in daily transactions, $39.5 million, $0.05 million processed in a single day. That's a 359.1% increase from where it was a year ago. Incredible stats. Stablecoin adoption continues to grow, as we've mentioned so many times on this show. Coin Bureau notes that the White House strikes crypto deal on the Clarity Act. The White House and the U.S. lawmakers have reportedly reached a tentative deal on stablecoin rules to advance the crypto market structure bill. The proposal would limit interest on passive holdings while still allowing certain activities-based rewards. So, of course, we talk about staking. This has been just a big topic of conversation. Had to cover it here. Not sure if you guys saw this, and Josh, I want to hear your take. Elon Musk unveils TerraFab, a Tesla SpaceX collaboration to produce over 1 terawatt of compute annually and accelerate humanity's path to becoming a multiplanetary civilization. I butchered it. But that's like
bullish,
huge. Like when you look at their Texas facility, people know that to be a massive Tesla undertaking, massive facility there. This will be like multiples on that size. This will be absolutely massive. so bullish. That's all you want to add to that? Bullish, Josh?
It's hard. Hey, doing hard things is why he's the richest man in the world. So
Yeah.
that's all I'll say. I mean, I saw it was gonna be launched from the moon. Like they were gonna they had this rail gun that was gonna send out satellites from the moon, which I thought was crazy. There was a bunch in here that I thought was pretty wild, but look, hard to build. He's the only guy that seems to build anything kind of advanced and interesting in the world these days.
Absolutely. In other AI news, listen to this from Mark Zuckerberg. He wants to create an AI agent to help him run Meta, aiming to eliminate management layers and speed up decision making. I mean, this is a big issue at some of these companies. They're very bloated and they have so much middle management that things take forever to process through. Zuck wants to cut that back. In kind of crypto on-chain trenches news for the people that are more crypto focused, I think that was more macro here. Bags app released their mobile application. Our mobile app update is live with filters for all launch pads. Find new trending and bonded coins. Looks like Bags is really making a new a push towards this new era of mobile usage, which I think is interesting. In competition with Bags, we have Greg here, who's announced he's joining Bonk Fund as an advisor, which seems to be a push for Bonk Fund to actually, get more interest from on-chain traders, bring those on-chain traders onto the board here, and that's why they got Greg on board.
Can I ask a question here?
Yeah.
All right. I've seen Bonk hire like a few guys, right? And I'm just trying to wonder, like, what exactly are they doing? They like they just got their website hacked for 30K. And nothing happened for like 7 days. And then they come back and it's been a couple like crimed up launches or whatever. I'm just trying to see, like, over the course of the last 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 months, they've hired a few CT traders and stuff as advisors and things. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, what are they actually working towards is my question.
It's a really good question. You're right, because a lot of it feels like, okay, this is cool, but again, like relatively meaningless. We didn't iterate on making this launch pad like more amittable for traders, better for deployers, better for like pipeline. So I don't know. Like that's a good question. And you're right. They kind of went silent here. They had the domain hack, lost 30K. They did refund users 110%, right? Which you can see down here. But you're right. Like, cool. They got a new advisor on board. I will say though, like they did get good volume, 61.5 million in volume, which is eating into Pump Fund, right? So they took 21.2% of that market share. I don't know. I don't know if it's sustainable at all. That's the issue, right? Is it just a one-time thing? If it is sustainable, and I guess I'll tab over for this. Remember, guys, there is a token you can trade that is gonna be a direct benefactor of this, and that's GP. Graphite Protocol receives a percentage of revenue from Bonk, right? So if Bonk does really, really well, sustainably, this will go up. And this is at a very cheap price. I mean, honestly, it's at 17.4 million FTV, 9.7 million market cap. But again, it begs the question, just like you said, is there anything meaningful Bonk's doing different, or is this a one-time, okay, Bonk's back in the news, they got a quick hit, they did 61.5 million in volume the other day, and then they're just going to fade off? We know everything traded is very ecosystem dependent. So it's not like Pump Fund, Bonk, Bags can all go off at the same time. It's typically just one or the other. So chill. To answer your question, I don't know. What are they actually doing? They're trying to make some headlines. They're trying to make something shake, but I don't think they're actually doing anything really meaningful on that front.
They're seen a lot of FUD around all of this. Is it MCM? MCM is
he's
like
always
a whole
fudding.
post fudding, Bonk eco. But you know what? Like it's valid. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and yeah, some of the.
I'll say this, and I'll pull up my screen.
I guess they did launch iterations. They launched balance mode, so maybe I misspoke. They did launch a new, which adds liquidity over time, I believe. Okay, so you can share your screen though, Jill.
Yeah. So let me share this. Oh, not that. This. So just on-chain environment.
Disgusting. This chart, like it's just disgusting.
Let's just zoom out for a second, fellas. The top 250 Pump Fund deployers, they've extracted almost 80 million over the last 6 months by deploying 194,000 tokens, which 94,000 tokens, which equals out to about 1,100 every single day. So 1,000 tokens a day over the last 6 months. These guys have extracted millions. This is the on-chain environment that has been traded. And these guys they've extracted they've launched a lot of stuff that many people traded, right? Like America, they traded the ICM meme, EVA, right? Remember EVA? Um they traded they launched stuff like Punch, Butt Plug, Copper Inu,
Copper Inu. Yeah.
it's crazy, but these guys and Tanaki, that was another one as well. But a lot of these guys, man, a lot of people they try to trade this environment, and I just don't know why. I've been very vocal on the timeline just about, if you guys follow my tweets, I actually quote tweeted this one, because it said they only produced 10 tokens that with a 5 million or more market cap, right? So it just goes to show the type of trading environment that you're currently trading in. And it's not going to do anything good for your portfolio, right? It's not going to do, you'll be on the wrong side of these stats real quick. And I say all of that to say, because about Bonk Fund, but like this is literally the trading environment that we have right now. You have Bonk coming back, but they have some volume. But is it really going to be anything good? Can you actually produce anything good in this type of environment where we have this guy Scented? He's basically bundling and rugging coins for 400 SOL a day, and people praise him for that. And I don't know why. We've now shifted to this place where we're praising people for bundling and rugging and scamming other participants in the market. I remember a few years ago, you'd get clowned on if you get kind of exiled for launching and rugging a token, right? Like that was bad, but now it's almost like that's the thing to do, right? And I just don't get it. But as long as we're in this environment, I don't see any of these launch pads actually doing something good. But yeah, I know it's 1 o'clock, top of the hour. I think we have our next guest coming on.
Yep.
I think they're good to go. Let's get Miyat team up here, and they can chat a bit about it. I'll share their website and we can jump straight into it. So let's get the boys on real quick. All right. There we go. Full panel today. Gentlemen, what's up? Are you with us?
Yeah, GM, can y'all hear me?
Yep, you sound good.
Bet. Jerry, you
okay,
there?
so
Yeah,
Evan, easy to pronounce. Resh, how are we pronouncing this one? How are we pronouncing
Jerry?
Jerry. Okay.
Yeah.
Jerry and Evan, we appreciate you guys coming on. Been seeing you guys cooking on the timeline, loving the daily updates. Really loving what's going on just in terms of AI crypto convergence. And so it seems like you guys are the guys to talk about it. So let's start at the top. I'd love to get introductions from both of you guys, learn about your backgrounds, and then we'll jump straight into Miyat. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, it's Maya.
Got you.
Yeah.
Feel free to kick us off, Evan.
Yeah. So first off, I might have some background noise. I'm on campus right now in a public area, so I hope y'all don't mind. But
no worries.
Basically, yeah, I'm Esvin. I'm one of the co-founders of Maya alongside Jerry. We're two college students, and we started working on something similar roughly about 3 years ago called True Critic. And the whole concept with this was basically, how can we solve fake reviews in restaurants? So we came up with a solution. We're submitting to countless hackathons and started to get decent amount of traction and pitching to VCs. And we just came to the conclusion that we were too fucking early. Like, we were moving way too fast and the industry was too lagging behind. It's too hard to get receipts on chain strategically how we were trying to do. And we decided to pivot. So I myself started the biggest blockchain club on my campus, have over 150 students that learn crypto every single day through me. And then I launched the biggest student crypto conference called MBC, Midwest Blockchain Conference, and College.xyz, which is also the biggest student organization in all of crypto. So we started to scale, and alongside of this, ETH Denver came about. And I hit Jerry up, and we've been talking back and forth. We're constantly in the DMs all the time about this concept that we had 3 years ago and bringing it back for AI agents. And we decided to build out my app for the ETH Denver hackathon. And once we got there, we shipped it, got a lot of good feedback from base, virtuals, a lot of people that were at ETH Denver. And then from there, we were all like, fuck it, let's keep working on this and work on shipping it on spring break. So that's what we've been doing. That's kind of the origin story. I know Jerry has a little bit more to add on his side of things.
You want to tell us a bit about yourself, Jerry?
Yeah, so Asvin mentioned that we were building True Critic before, and after that he went to do his college thing, host events for college students, and I started a job at Perena. It's a stablecoin project on Solana, and then as a growth developer, and after Perena, I started my own DeFi project, is a index LST thing, and then after that, it's for a year, and then we got into an accelerator and got some traction, and yeah, and after that, I started to talk to Asvin again, and then we think that it's time to bring back the True Critic concept.
It seems like you guys have had some really good traction here. Can you walk me through the idea? Like, what is the issue, and what are you solving for here?
Yeah. So basically, whenever we first came to this problem of the receipts back in the day, is like there's all this fake information online. It's hard to find real good consensus on what actually is true on the internet, right? So when you take this problem and you scale it to AI agents, like an agent doesn't know what to decide, what's fake, what's real, what's legit, what's a scam. It's very hard for it to differentiate based on the information that it's pulling from. Google, SEOs, all that stuff can be easily manipulated. So what we're trying to solve and working towards solving is that core problem right there. So how can we make agents make better decisions based on giving them a oracle of information that they can tap into to get the best information that they possibly can. So iteration 1 right now is what you're looking at right now, which is basically agent scores for other agents. So basically, let's say you, Dinero, if you have an agent and I want my agent to interact with yours, why should I trust that? Like, I personally know you, but I don't know what your agent is doing. He could be fraudulent. He could be rugging crypto coins or meme coins and doing all kinds of fraudulent stuff. So how do I tell my agent to veer away from that without physically telling them you're doing fraudulent stuff? So what we do is we pull all the on-chain data, analytics, projects, things you're working on, and really just dive into to give the best consensus to our agent to say, okay, this is worth moving forward, this isn't worth moving forward, and etc. And then from there, we can scale not just to AI agents, but to protocols, coins, restaurants, businesses. Every interaction that an agent is going to have is going to be on chain. We know this. Agent commerce is the future. But what we don't know, what we haven't solved yet, and what Maya is trying to solve is that trust factor. Why can't we go in and actually trust an agent to, let's say, buy a coffee for you? Like, how do you know if you're not getting scammed on the specific coffee? Or if you want to, right now, if you want to have a coffee, you can ask your AI agent, buy me a best coffee. It orders a coffee, Starbucks, every time. Like, that can all be easily manipulated. And in this world that we envision, Starbucks is going to be the leading winner. Why? Because they have the most money. They can pay for the most advertising to agents. They can gamify the fake reviews, SEO, all this kind of stuff. So basically what we're trying to solve is become the trust core oracle of information for AI agents and be the truth source for everything that an AI agent when it comes to making a decision.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, you have this oracle, this data set that you've built up from people verifying their agents, and you can submit this to other platforms so people can use their agents on their platforms and have trusted scores. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to do a certain thing on a specific project, protocol, or whatever, It just needs to tap into Maya, and it pulls from our API, and it does specific research on that specific agent that you're trying to do work for, and we pull the data and it submits it to you. Okay, this is good, this isn't good. We keep a red flag, green flag, good to go, not good to pass kind of deal.
Got you. You know, when I look at this space, it kind of feels like, you know, there's a lot of competition in it. There's a lot of people competing to get this human verification layer, this trust layer. Can you explain maybe what makes you guys different or a better solution?
Yeah, so basically what we believe is our core thesis is that a lot of people are doing a lot of the similar things. They're providing the on-chain data analytics, but what makes us different is that we had another trust layer on top. This is actually the first time we actually announced it on a space or anything, because we've kind of been keeping it low key. But basically what we do is we have trusted reviews. So when an agent interacts with another agent, that agent can leave a review on that specific service. So now other agents can go in and tap into that specific review database from other agents. So if they're interacting with your agent and several agents are getting rugged from you, this pool of data of verified reviews, because they actually interacted with you, gets pulled from Maya and says, okay, this is like the consensus from other agents if we should perceive and shouldn't perceive. Now, if we take this and scale it to what we want to in the future, is human interaction. It's like a hybrid of agents and humans. Now, when you go to have a coffee and you drink your coffee, your agent pings you, what did you think of that coffee? You leave the review, and now your agent sends it to the Maya platform, and now you have a human review and an AI review. And Chill can go in and say, what's the best coffee to have around me? And it pulls from the Maya database and says, Dinero says, this is the best coffee to have around you. This is what he thought. This is what his agent thought. We recommend this one. And like, imagine this like 1,000x fold with all your friends, agents, all the information that's online, and we can really scale to practically any industry we want to. But that's kind of what we're working towards right now.
And how do these agents communicate? Is this like a multi-book situation, or is it going to be like a more of a general LLM where it's like, I need this done? Your agent will go and kind of query for the best answer, and it'll get feedback from the other agents, or how's that like practically look?
Yeah. So basically, Maya is the trust oracle. So they're just querying from Maya. We're not actually building the agentic commerce actual like platforms and things like that. We'll leave that to the other guys. What they're doing is that they're integrating us into their current platforms to pull the best trusted source information that we need.
Got you. Can you tell me a little bit about what makes a good trust score versus what makes a bad trust score? Obviously, you've got, I think the number was like 32,000 something. You can confirm this. People signed up and actually verified through this. What makes a good score? What makes a poor score?
Yeah, I'll let Jerry dive into this one. He's the mastermind behind this.
Go.
Yeah.
Boom.
So we have like different verdicts, and for now the data will be like, it is all from virtual. So there'll be all the jobs you have done, and the completion the agent have done, and then in the future we'll add the community feedback, and then we'll be doing something like a RDF thing to make the data more like an SEO thing for agent to reach out. So that's basically like different types of data we have right now, but we will try to make it more diversified in the future.
Okay. What kind of diversification are you guys looking to do? Is there going to be any off-chain element to this?
Not really, but for now it will be like mostly it will be on chain because it's more transparent for everyone. For every agent, they can call data from everywhere. Yeah.
Got you. Can you walk me through some of these high level numbers here? We got some interesting stuff. 37,743 agents signed up. What are you guys doing in terms of getting these agents to sign up and people to use this platform?
Yeah. So really our go-to-market strat isn't as much as the humans as it is agents. So we're trying to integrate ourselves as much as possible. You can see at the very homepage, like our integration. So Jerry is pushing PRs to practically every big project you can see. He's also pushing a bunch of PRs for new ERC 8183 standard that is coming out. I want to say he's written like 5 PRs that need to get approved, so we're waiting on that. But that's really our go-to-market. We believe that if we can start embedding ourselves in some of these projects and really just pulling some of their mind share and bringing them to the trust oracle, then that's really really what's going to work for us. But specifically looking at this data set is like we have 37 agents that is constantly growing based on the amount of data we're pulling from like Virtual, soon to be Binance, and a couple of other chains. And then aside from that too, like we have 104 unique callers. So we launched last Friday or 2 Fridays ago on Virtuals, and we've grown to 104 unique callers with practically no marketing budget spend or really no money spent on marketing in general. And then we have a total of, or soon to be 1,000 queries. It just went up, as we can see, of people pulling information constantly from my. So as we keep trying to grow, it's just really trying to embed ourselves in more and more projects, doing BD integrations into several big protocols or things that are building within agentic commerce, and really sticking to this core wave of AI commerce and embedding ourselves to be the top leading of trust in what we see as the best way.
I want to dig into BD and integration, but real quick, help myself and the audience understand, what is this new ERCS standard that you guys are really interested in? Can you explain a bit of what that actually means for you guys?
Go for it, Jay.
Do you mean the ERC 8183?
Yep.
Yeah, so basically that's an evaluator for all the AI agents. So there are like typically 3 roles, and there are like there's client, there's a provider, and there's an evaluator. So we came in as an evaluator to evaluate all the jobs, whether the provider is doing good, are they providing good quality for the service, and what's the reputation for the service and for the shop or anything or any like agents. So we came in as a evaluator in the process. So that will be very important for every agent doing transaction in the future, because how do those agents trust a human or trust any agents that they're transacting with? So yeah, but we have different things comes in, like you can have a receipt. I pull request a thing called receipt attestation for agents. So every time they complete a job or request a job, they will have a receipt that they can have a proof that they actually complete the job, and also they can do the reviews for both sides. This is inspired by Airbnb, by the way. And yeah, and there's like hook for different dimension. So there are like 4 or 5 different developers talking. We're like discussing to each other that each of the project will host a different domain. So we will host the thing with the trust thing and the verify thing. Some of them will do the thing that is the agent doing the right decision thing, and something like that. Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess one thing I wanted to kind of run through was a little bit about your tokenomics, your revenue model. I wanted to kind of walk through like BD and like any feedback that you've gotten from partnerships or those you've integrated with. So I guess let's start with tokenomics. Like, what's the purpose of the token? Walk us through that aspect of it.
Yeah, so initially we launched the token on Friday through Virtual 60 Days, which is their 60 days program that kind of really lets us explore our go-to-market, how people think our project is valued at, kind of get a lot more feedback on like kind of the whole internet capital markets thesis of building in public, having a token, and then really redistributing that value. So as far as that side of the token is purely for marketing and getting our name out there, because if we don't decide to commit for the virtual 60 days, the token will be refunded back to all the holders. Now, that's the marketing side of things. The second side of things is like the actual tokenomics of how we're integrating Maya into our ecosystem. And Jerry's the one really focusing on that aspect.
Great question here. I'm going to jump to real quick before letting you continue, Chill. Crypto Jones asks, does providing a verified review generate a reward for users? Do you guys have some sort of feedback and reward loop there?
Rip it, Jerry. This one's all you.
Yeah, so currently we have a arcade token called Scarab, but we're still like trying to figure out if Maya and Scarab should be together in the tokenomics, because there's like different projects talking to us we want to integrate with, and we want to do something like before you review, you have to stake token, whether it's Scarab or Maya right now, to just verify that you actually do something. You actually had the receipt for reviewing the agents or services. And so we are planning for like actually generate the reward for users or agents who actually leave the reviews, because this is actually our pain point. That for myself, I was a local guide, like level 6 local guide on Google Map, and there's no incentive for me to do such thing to maintain their ecosystem. So I think if we have this kind of concept or mechanism for review system on chain, that will be a good way for everyone to join in, and they want to contribute the ecosystem for a good quality for the reviews for agents or humans.
Got it. Awesome. Awesome. One thing I wanted to just kind of backtrack real quick. I thought you were about to give us some kind of context around the tokenomic side. Evan was saying that you kind of handle that side. Did you have anything that you wanted to finish off before we move to the next point?
Yeah, so a little bit more on the tokenomics that Jerry didn't touch. So basically, you get Scarab tokens for leaving a review, opening your passport for Maya, which is basically like your trust portfolio. And we're really structuring right now on how exactly we're integrating completely the Maya token within the ecosystem. It's not fully confirmed because, like Jerry said, we're constantly talking to bigger projects saying, how can we do this? How can we do that? And ultimately, like I said, too, the Maya token itself is a 60 days project. So we can revert any day when we want to say, okay, we don't want to do the Maya token anymore, and we want to do something else that we think is better functional or fits better within the ecosystem. So really, like I said, the Maya is just testing the waters, being able to see what's good, what doesn't work, and just scaling on what we believe is best.
Got it. Got it. And one thing I just want to get some more clarity on that virtual 60-day. I don't think I've even heard of that. Can you just break that down for me real quick? Like I don't think I've known about that feature.
Yeah, so basically the virtual 60 days is this new type of launch framework that they launched. It was like, I want to say they launched in like early 2026. And it's basically like a launch phase for students to be, or not just students, anybody to be able to go in and for 60 days really like accumulate based on token trades that are happening, and accumulate funds through the internet capital markets. And then from there, there's two ways that we can decide to go. We can decide to go, it's we commit, which means that the project is completely launched. The token is 100% can't go back now. And all the revenue that we accumulated, which right now is at 100,000 from trades and just people interacting with Maya, we would keep. But if we decide not to commit, then all that is refunded back to the people who are actually interacting with Maya, buying and holding, and all the accumulated funds really gets what's it called?
Pro rata dispersed.
Yeah, sent back to the holders who believe in the mission. But with this too, it also leaves us the chance, like I said, to explore different avenues to say, oh, well, we think the Maya token isn't the right way to move, or we think that we should just integrate ourselves into this L2 or this L3 or this specific project that really wants to acquire Maya or something like that.
Can I
Interesting.
gauge how you guys are feeling about that? Obviously that's a fantastic. Raising 100K is an incredible milestone there. Are you guys thinking that you're gonna rock with this token, or have you guys put the thought into that yet?
Yeah, look, so we're currently 11 days into the 60 days.
Right.
Right now we're sitting at, I want to say it's like a 900K market cap. So it isn't from our all-time high. Our all-time high was like 2 mil, I think. But right now our main priority is making Maya the standard for all AI agents. So whatever it takes to do that, that's what we want to do. We want to become that standard. Uh, so specifically on working on the project, yes, we're 1000% in for the 60 days. As far as committing and verifying, like, look, do we want to keep this 100K, or do we have another opportunity to maybe do something bigger, integrate us into another protocol platform that could benefit us even more? So it comes down to, do we want the 100K, or do we want ultimately higher returns than we could even imagine? And right now, me and Jerry are both students. We don't really need the 100K. Like I said, a lot of the marketing is free. A lot of the integrations we're doing is free, and the scaling and stuff. And we can really do it without the 100K right now. But if it comes down to it, also, where we believe, look, like, we need to keep this first mover advantage. Let's keep this 100K and keep it moving, type of deal. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Got you.
Awesome.
One more thing to clarify, Chill, and then I'll pass it back to you to finish up your thought process. The Scrab token that you talked about as a reward token, this is not a tradable asset, right? Just to be clear, you have the one tradable token, the Mayat tradable token, and the Scrat, I believe it is something just in-app that you can reward to people, correct?
Yes, it's an arcade token, but we may explore some different avenues on potential points, kind of different little things that we can integrate Scarab to maybe better correlate with the Maya.
Got you. Just wanted to clarify there. Thanks. Chill, I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, no, I guess the last thing, we're coming up on about 26 minutes here so far in the interview. It's been a great conversation so far. You guys have given us a ton of good insights into what you're working on. I guess my question, just to close it off, is what are you guys looking forward to most? You're 11 days in. You obviously still very early stages in building this, but you've made a ton of progress from what I've seen. You've built for yourself a really good community around your token as well, and just around what you're doing. There's a lot of interest that you've generated. What are you guys most excited about? What's on the roadmap coming up?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things we're excited about. Virtuals keeps putting out constant updates about new chains that they're integrating in, BNB, XRP. Like you see a new one every other day. And basically what we're focusing on right now is how can we integrate those specific chains on Maya. So that's something we're currently working on, becoming cross-chain, expanding that. And aside from this too, the alpha that we're looking forward to is that we want to win the fucking synthesis hackathon that you're looking at right now. So we submitted 3 projects that you see, and we think that our 3 projects are very core solid compared to some of the other submissions. And if we do end up winning this would be a huge distribution. This would get us in the door for practically every protocol that we submitted to, and really just basically secure our funding, or like how me and Jerry like to say all the time, this basically ends it for us, and we send it home and just send the shit to the moon, kind of deal. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now, what we're thinking. Future long term, what we really want to do is implement into robotics. So that's something we haven't really discussed a lot about lately. This is something me and Jerry talk about a lot internally. So we're also working on the virtuals base batches for the robotics track, and also the students based batches student track. So those are little updates that we're working on under the scenes and really just pushing forward to.
Got it. Josh, I didn't know if you had something you wanted to touch on before I continue.
Yeah, I was curious just on the revenue model, like how this protocol makes money. And obviously, if you have revenue, you have sustainability and you can build indefinitely. Can you just touch on, do agents pay a fee, or do you guys take some sort of fee besides the revenue from the token fees itself?
So we're planning to have like So we have lots of like APIs inside our protocol. It will be able to charge for in the long term for, but right now it's still free. And also we're making our ACP to be better. So actually you can, like, every agent will be able to do the transaction with us on virtuals. And we think that eventually virtuals will go viral in every chain. So I think that's an important step for us. And in the future, when the evaluator goes live on mainnet, we think if we have the chance to become the biggest evaluator or the standard of 8183 itself, we might have a good chance to like charge every transaction, every DeFi protocol, and every agents if they wanna be evaluated. So there is a lot of potential for us, put us in like different parts. It will be very composable, and we also have the identity thing for agents or human to accumulate their credits in the space. So I think we have lots of traction, and we'll be able to do lots of potential thing, but it's still, we need some time to do that, I think.
How big does this get? So fast forward, you have 30 agents on here, or 30,000 agents on here now, 800K market cap. Let's say you're an $800 million market cap and people are looking at your business. Like, how big is it? What's the traction like at that point? How do you get to that $1 billion market cap? What does the project look like then?
Yeah, the project looks like is you basically wouldn't even know that you're interacting with Maya. So you're walking down the street and every robot you interact with, let's say there's a tour guide robot or something, you ask them, what's the best place to eat around me? And it answers truthfully, not just McDonald's. That's how you know Maya is scaled and where you've become the standard. So that's ultimately what we envision, what we want to become. Also too, if like agents are interacting with other agents, a lot of the information they're pulling from is Maya.
So basically every query that you ask a synthetic intelligence is double checked here against Maya is kind of what you're thinking.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Very cool. Chill, any other things? I think we talked about the revenue model, some of the grants that you're working on. Yeah. Don't know if you have anything else, Chill.
No, this has been a fantastic conversation. You've really given us a clear picture of everything. But I guess I can just kind of put it on you guys. Anything that you guys are working on or anything that you're excited about that you feel like we didn't cover?
I think we've covered most of the things that we really want to cover. I guess one ask that we really would like for the audience to hear is if y'all could go to Product Hunt and upvote us Maya so we can enter YC and become the first virtuals project to enter YC. So
that would actually be dope. Yeah, let's do it. Well, guys, look, I really appreciate you guys joining the stream today.
Is that awesome what's on here? We're just searching it. I'll get a screenshot of this so we can help you guys out. Oh, look at that. Great pitch. Can we watch this? Is this a minute?
Yeah, let's watch it. Let's watch it.
Oh, I think our producer
it'll be back up in a sec. There we go.
GM, I'm Jerry. And we're two college students who don't trust AI. Let me explain. 3 years ago, I met this Asian, no, not this one, volunteering at a crypto conference. And seriously, we couldn't shut up about one thing: how easy it is to fake things online. So that spring break, I invited Jerry to pull up to my house, and we worked on a solution all break long. The idea was simple. Let's put receipts on chain so every review is actually verified. Everybody we talked to loved it. VCs, builders, even normies. We submitted a 4+ hackathons and realized we were just too fucking early.
Nah, I think TrueCritic was too early.
So we pivoted.
After TrueCritic, I found a job at Piranha as a growth developer. And then I built my project called Sponge on Solana. And we got lots of traction and got into an accelerator.
I started the biggest crypto club on campus, helped put together the biggest student conference in crypto, and launched college.xyz. But the whole time, we never stopped coming back to this idea. Hell, We even had our own dads telling us to bring it back.
Like he was talking about, there are so many agents out there, and so many things are generated by AI. How do I trust them? And then he told me, "Oh, you should start to think about your review things." And I was like, "What?"
So this year at Eat Denver, we built the same concept we had 3 years ago, except this time it's not for restaurants. It's for every AI agent on the fucking internet, and we called it My App. So any agent, any protocol, any platform can plug into My App and instantly know if what they're dealing with is legit. And so for the next 60 days, we're going all in. And we're even fading midterms. Just ask Jerry. Are you going to fade midterms for 60 days, Jerry?
Fuck it.
Yo, that's
go.
awesome. Yo, guys, this is great. Yeah, link that in the private there. I'm gonna put add that to the show notes. So you want people to go here and vote this up, just to be clear?
Yeah, if you could get your son, your mother, your father, everybody to go upvote us, that would be very, very well
We
appreciated.
got you. We got you.
All right, and lastly, grants. Any grants that you have? Specific grants?
Yeah. So like I said, we're working on submitting for the virtuals robotics grant, and also the student basis batches grant, and also some other internal ones that we don't want to share the alpha on yet.
All right. Cool, guys.
Sounds
Well,
good, guys.
I think that wraps it. Good luck building this. I think this is really interesting, and as it comes together, let us know, and we'll have you back on for an update. But appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. This was fun, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Evan, Jerry, appreciate your time. Definitely got to have you back before the 60 days is up for some updates. But all the best to you guys. Okay, take care. Awesome. Nice project, dude. I love that demo video that they had. That was actually or intro video, I should say, but that was actually pretty sick.
Everyone should do a pitch. Like every crypto project should be doing one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really nice during the Believe era when everyone was launching a token. They would attach like their launch video, which is super cool for like getting quick DD in. But good traction to start it off. You know, there is a lot of people doing this, and as Crypto Jones mentioned, all this human verification stuff makes me think that the powers be recognized. There's real potential for privacy with AI agents. Yeah, I guess I'll just add to this. Like, it definitely seems like it's coming, whether it's you know, off-chain data or on-chain data, something like World where you can scan your retinas and confirm that you're human, or, you know, have a history for your AI agent and allow it to, you know, perform commerce at all these places. So pretty cool stuff nonetheless. Yeah, guys, anything you want to close off with?
Nothing on that, but when we're ready to pivot, I got something.
Okay, I got something too.
Run
So
some charts.
let's run it.
All right, cool. So just a couple things I wanted to update you guys on, or just we've been talking a lot about, you know, obviously this is a trading show, right? Like we cover a lot of trades, we cover a lot of setups. But I'm always concerned with, like, look, trading on chain might not always be the best thing to do, right? And the boys will share my screen in a sec. But like there's this chart here, and as you can see, pump fund the deployers, the top 150, or rather the top 250, they collectively paid 1.4 million in fees to create all these tokens that they created. Remember, we said that they created 1,000 per day, right? So you're in an on-chain environment where it pays to be a grifter, it pays to rug people, it pays to be a bad actor, and the
What's the
people
message here?
that don't stop trading. That's the message. Stop trading. Start accumulating. Start waiting. Start taking advantage of a different market, a different strategy, a different ecosystem. Like it's crazy. I posted this picture in my my TG, and I got the link in my bio to my TG now. By the way, I'll probably take it down in a little bit. But in my TG a few weeks ago, I mentioned this. I showed this picture here, and I'll share that. Literally, this is the cage, right? And this is all everyone knows. And you can, and the cage can be different. The cage can be, it could be pump fun. It could be trading. It could be it could be anything, right? But I say all of that to say, if you're stuck trading on things like pump fund memes, and Dom, can you please max blow up Josh's screen now? Do it. We love seeing the desk go down.
The desk go down.
I missed it,
But
dude. I was searching for the SpongeBob meme where he's got the handcuffs. Didn't get it.
yo, for real. Literally that. But it's just crazy because everyone is stuck trading these same things. I'm trying to get it into people's heads that, hey, look, you don't have to stay on pump fund. Like, you don't have to just trade on chain. You can do things like DLMM. You can trade prediction markets. Like, the bear market isn't going to affect prediction markets. There's always going to be a headline to trade. There's always going to be a move to trade. It's just a matter of finding the right setup, knowing where to look and what to look for. So stop doing that. That's what you're doing. You're being SpongeBob. Stop doing that. But let's look at some charts here. Yeah, let's look at some charts. There's some stuff I want to update you guys on.
Wait, before kind of
Yeah.
on that note, I want to
Yeah.
get into something real quick because I think it kind of
Mhm,
fits into what you were saying. And shout out Taz, he just followed me. But what do you think about this? Because you just talked about all the deployer issues. Like, look, there's absolutely an issue. You see the numbers, it's clear. Now, this was this is kind of going viral on Twitter, I guess, in the crypto sphere. I would classify it as viral. But Taz, shout out Taz, put out this tweet. He goes, the idea here for Bonk Fund and Pump Fund is to reduce rugs and spam launches. Charge $1,000 to deploy a token. If it passes bonding curve or hits 100K market cap, the platform buys $1,000 and locks it or refunds the dev. Less garbage coins, more serious builders and communities. I really like this idea, right? I think it also means, hey, when something launches, there's a much higher chance that it's investable because they're putting $1,000 on the line to launch it. Now, the issue becomes, okay, well, Pump Fund's going to lose a lot of money from pre-bonded tokens, right? Bags is going to lose a lot of money from pre-bonded tokens. That's how they make a ton of money, which is why when you see Pump Fund still doing $1 million in revenue today, you ask yourself what the driving factors are. Well, a lot of it's early stage gambling on pre-bonded tokens. They actually make a lot of revenue from that. And then their tail end of launches that have been launched over the last, year and a half that have kind of sustained some volume, and it just feeds back into Pump Fund. But what do you guys think about this? I don't think it would ever happen, but I do support the idea.
America.fund tried this with a $200 fee. But I do like that it buys it. I think America.fund just had as a platform fee. But the problem is it reduces the velocity of launches, and then like people are sitting there on their screener and there's nothing to click, right?
Mhm.
So it's like
Eco dies.
Yeah, I
The
don't know.
only people that could do this would be Pump Fund, right? Pump Fund's the only platform that has the market share and mind share and enough launches to be like, all right, we're slapping you with $1,000 charge. And people would be like, okay, well, people are still looking on Pump Fund. That's my best distribution angle. So I'm still going to pay $1,000 to deploy a token. Of course, it would reduce it by a significant margin. You wouldn't get people launching tokens based off tweets, or like it wouldn't be stupid stuff. But I do like the idea. So America.fund tried it, but again, like they weren't Pump Fund. They didn't have that pre mind share that I think you need to really pull something like this off.
So wait. We need to have this discussion. We were talking about this internally. We're gonna have a discussion about this on Friday's stream, but we had to push it back. There was this talk about Pump Fund. Do you remember the conversation, Josh? It was talking about Pump Fund, whether oh man, it was. I'm trying to see if you guys remember the discussion, but it was basically talking about like just how on Pump Fund, or rather Pump Fund itself, is kind of like cancerous to the space a little bit. And I kind of was like, well, I mean, say what you will about Pump Fund, and obviously these stats aren't these stats that I showed you guys. Like they're not good, but the reality is people trade on it, and I don't think Pump Fund is going anywhere. So I think it was just that was a core part of the discussion is, how do you think about Pump Fund? Do you think they're good for the space? And what's the future like? I guess is it just going to be Pump Fund, or is it going to be a pivot somewhere else?
I think this was in the reaction to the market cap. market share discussion, right? Where I think Pump had like 80 something percent and the rest had 5 or less percent market share. And yeah, I don't know what the answer is here. I really don't.
Dude, I would absolutely love this. I think, you know how you see these jokes about like, I wish microphones were $10,000 because you have all these stupid podcasts out there. I mean, I kind of do agree. Like, I would love for it to cost $1,000 or have more friction to launch a token. When we had more friction to launch a token back in the Ethereum days, the tokens went up.
Yeah.
When there's no friction, people launch whatever dog shit pops in their
Supply and
mind.
demand is what it is. And there's so much soul. I don't know if that is true, but there's so much soul that's locked up in all these stupid launches in these liquidity pools now forever, which is interesting. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, but that's actually bullish for Solana. You want to call it a bit deflationary by having that. Remember, all these liquidity pools that are perma-locked, which again came as a band-aid, so it came as a fix because people would just rug the liquidity, right? Well, now that Sol's locked and never going to be in circulation again. So it is, you know, I guess deflationary to Solana by nature. So I don't actually mind that. But yeah, I don't know. I would love to change how the pools are going right now. Of course, as frictionless as possible, but with some sort of barrier in place to keep from launching all this trash that just floods the market and kind of makes it difficult for the real gems to
State of the market.
State of the market.
Of things. Yep. 100%. Well, I guess now we can kind of get into some charting here. You know, we're at the max pain part of the fear and greed, the part of we're tired of winning. That's the part of the fear and greed index that we're on right now.
Super tired.
But let's go through some things. Let's start with base. First off, let's start with Banker. I'm going to look at Banker on the 3-day. And we are very deep into this level that I had previously marked off. So I wanted to call this out because even if you look on here, we're at like the 0.786 level on the retracement for Banker. As you know, this is the level where mostly people start to capitulate, right? This is the level where people think it's over most of the time. But ironically, it's kind of a level to start positioning. So we're seeing some reaction there. But overall, we just had this level marked out. And this is basically can be thought of as the compute layer for AI agents, right? Like AI agents use the Banker infrastructure and they have to stake Banker in order to pay their compute fees. And so that puts Banker as basically, you know, in line with any demand for compute from AI agents on chain. So I think Banker is at a very interesting level here. So something that I'm paying attention to, there's that.
And that's a $40 million market cap. I think when you're talking about these, attaching the market cap is so important because like, what is a fair value of something like this? I don't have their stats pulled up, but I'm sure you can find it on Blockworks or something. It's a 40 million market cap and they're pulling in 20 million a year. You know, that's a pretty low price to earnings. And then you're talking sustainability. Of course, this is a high beta, but yeah, market cap 40 million just to take note of that.
Yeah, 100%. Let me see if I can actually look at some of the stats here for revenue. So annualized revenue 6 million, fees annualized is 6 million. Just in the last 30 days, they made $500,000. Volume on there is pretty good as
Man, this
well.
is really
Okay.
dried up, eh? That's
Yeah, really kind
this
of
is the
has a little
state
bit.
of the rotation. You can see it in the revenue numbers, just like, yeah.
Well, we talked about it the other day too. I mean, like there's one ecosystem that does well at a time. And actually right now, I guess you could say technically Bonk captured some of that volume, right? It got 60 million the other day, but right now I think there's no ecosystem doing well. But again, rotation, we said once the rotation starts happening, get out of there. Which
Yeah.
interesting. I'd be interested to see what some of those coins have done since then. I think they've probably continued to bleed most of this ecosystem.
Yeah, so that's Banker. Let's look. There's Kelly Claude. And I put a take in my if you're in my TG, I put a take in my TG and I basically said that here's the take on where AI agents are headed right now. And I'd say this more applies to Felix than Kelly Claude. Right now, you basically have like most people are really excited about revenue generating agents, or at least that's where it started, right? Zero human companies is where it started. But now it just seems like the interest is shifting from revenue generating agents to infrastructure, right? Infrastructure that powers this economy that has very clean tokenomics that are tied to network effects. So the revenue agents, they're suffering the same thing that like Solana tokens were suffering from, like the Believe tokens were suffering from, the utility tokens. They're suffering from the same thing, an inability to tie the token, the revenue that the token is generating, or the value that's being created by the agent. There's an inability to tie that to the token in a way that the market can accept or find bullish. And that's the problem, right? Like we've come full circle. We're asking the same questions on we're asking the same questions about utility on Solana. Okay, like why hold the token then? And now we've come to basically doing the same thing for these revenue agents. Okay, like why hold the token? What does that give me? And so I think that's why you're seeing a pullback across the board for a lot of these base agents, is because now the attention is shifting from generating revenue to, okay, there's actually like the banker, the VVV style tokens where and honestly, I think this is where Nook shines a lot. Is it's critical infrastructure for the agentic economy, and the network effects are tied in with the tokenomics. And so, an uptick in network effects will mean an uptick in demand, which would lead to price appreciation. So, I think ultimately, that's where I'm positioning more, is infrastructure rather than individual agents. I think Kelly, Claude, and Felix could still potentially do well, but it's not. But yeah, that's where I'm really interested in right now. Is the infrastructure, and so that's why you guys saw me talk a little bit more about Juno recently. Um, we actually had I don't know why the buy zone deleted, but I believe we had a buy zone marked out here on Juno for like a long time. And we talked about this being the level that I wanted to buy at. And we finally hit it. I didn't get exactly there, but I did say, like, if we come back to the 1 mil area, I'm a buyer. And so I got in there and feeling pretty good about being positioned in Juno, because it acts as more like infrastructure, right? It's a agentic incubator, if you will. And
Would
so I love that.
would you batch robot money in this category of infrastructure?
I think it could be. I think it could be infrastructure. I mean, it's a treasury management protocol, right? Like all agents essentially would have treasury if they're generating revenue. Right now, Felix has like 6 figures in ETH just chilling. So that could be another avenue of revenue for all of these agents. So yeah, I think that's good infrastructure. And as you can see, that also is
Bouncing.
doing really well. We
So
called the DCA1 and DCA2 out last week.
So I guess it kind of all comes back to selling the picks and shovels in the gold rush here.
Yep.
You're not trying to go dig for the gold specifically, maybe in investing in a specific agent, but find somebody building the underlying infrastructure, what's needed for these agents to do well and succeed. And that's where you want to put your money.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's robot money, that's Juno. I also DCA'd more Nook down here as well. I mean, just look at this chart. It's just accumulating, man. If you if you were to DLMM this would be actually a great chart to DLMM. Um, dude, I fumbled one of my DLMM plays on the over the weekend. It actually fully like reversed, and I could have got more profit out, but I only got a little. But we'll talk a little bit about DLMMing a little bit later. And by the way, chat, I'm gonna start calling it DLMing, because DLMMing is just too much. So
Dude, chill.
DLMing,
Chill.
yeah.
Remember, I
Talk to
told you
me.
about Dome a little while, just the other last week. It was a Coliseum first place hackathon winner. It launched on bags.
Yeah.
That would have been a money DLOM. Look at the range that thing's been in, just up and
Let
down
me
and up and
see.
down. It's DOME, and that's on Solana. So, but I'm like, see, this is one of those ones I wouldn't have
Can
wanted to
we,
trade it.
before we go to this, can we just finish with Luxo on this segment here on base?
Luxo.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Luxo,
Luxo.
Luxo.
Sorry,
So that actually,
Dom, to cut
It's
you
all
off
good.
there,
It's
but
all good.
we'll do a Solana after we get done with base.
cool. So finish this out. Luxo is looking good on a pullback. We actually might be getting them on the show. And you guys, I put us all in a chat, by the way. But yeah, so we might be getting this team on the show. So that way we can talk a little bit more. The part for me that was super interesting about this was that this was created by the ERC20, the devs that created ERC20. Their agent essentially like became the first, it created the first multi-agent DAO. And so basically, through their ERC 725 token standard, which the creators of Luxo also created, they can now kind of like make decisions together. They can form on-chain reputation, and they can actually control this DAO and the treasury and coordinate. So another like agentic experiment, and essentially we're going to see a lot of these experiments because this is just the beginning, right? We're on the cutting edge of all of this stuff. So as far as like pullbacks are concerned, like, could be nice to see this area here under 200K, but honestly, bro, like I don't like charting up like charts this low when, one tweet can really like do make the chart go crazy. But obviously just don't buy green candles on these and just wait for an attractive enough pullback. But that's the Luxo token. Another one that I wanted to flag was Instaclaw. This one would have been perfect to DLMM, honestly. As soon as it hit these highs, you just set a minus 90% range. We would have DCA'd all of that, and now we're ranging in the middle, and it looks like we are kind of curling here and looking to, make a move higher, hopefully. So and full disclosure, I am in Instaclaw. I think it's a really nice protocol there. And especially last week, he's talking about his connections with WorldCoin. He's talking about his connection with the virtuals team, and all that. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I think I might have to look at this a little bit more closely. In fact, Cooper Wren, over the weekend, they kind of tease something here. So I'll show you guys. Here he says, drop your wildest guesses on what we're announcing next week. Best guess gets something special. Hint, it's probably bigger than you think. That was just 2 days ago. And then they said it again. Hint, it's more than just one announcement. Multiple game-changing updates dropping this week. We haven't slept. 100 world coins to whoever guesses closest by tomorrow morning. First one dropping later today, and that was just a couple hours ago. So let's see some updates that they had here. If you know or follow the homie Game loves these like catalyst trades, right? And that's sort of an angle to this as well. But one of the first updates that they dropped just 30 minutes ago, OpenClaw just shipped a plugin marketplace, new models, and per agent reasoning. Every Instaclaw agent already has it. No updates, no restarts, no configuration changes. We handle all of that so you never have to think about it. You just wake up and your agent is better than it was yesterday.
Bro, Cooper was locked in when he joined that call. I was like, holy, this guy is locked in.
I love the way he's positioning himself, though. Like, he said that he wanted to be just known as an AI builder, like not necessarily only being known for Instaclaw or Clawlancer, but actually, kind of aligning himself with just good content long term and just being known for being a builder. I think it's a great. Yeah, I got you looking at it right now. I think it's a great way for him to position himself, especially in this new age. But that's the first update here. Is this plugin marketplace, and OpenClaw, that open source tech that all these agents launch on is they've also kind of have this marketplace. And basically when you create an agent, Instaclaws, you can create an instant claw agent, OpenClaw agent, but this time with these plugins, it allows these agents to kind of like update and improve themselves autonomously. So that's the first of many updates apparently coming for Instaclaw, looking really good. And again, like from a chart perspective, starting to turn around. Other than that, I think that's all of the the base tokens. We got the Kelly Claude, the Felix, we got the Juno, the Nook, the Robot Money. I think Takeover was another one that I wanted to. This was a buy zone that didn't work out, and it actually like went a lot lower. It's been consolidating sideways, and I've just been watching it. I've just been watching it to see like it just how this plays out. But I think they have some sort of like V2 that they're shipping this year or something like that. Disclosure, like I am in this, but just not sure. This is more of like a short-term trade. It has a time invalidation on this trade, and that time invalidation is kind of how the market reacts to this V2 coming up. So we'll see if that's any good later on this week, but definitely want to position before it, not after. So yeah, that's base. Anything you guys wanted to cover?
We're good to do Dom's dome here.
Boom.
Dom,
let's
straight off the dome. Let's
Straight
go.
off the dome, baby.
Oh dang, dude. Yeah, this would have been a crazy DLMM trade. Like super tight range here.
Like we talked about this chill like 80K, 100K, and it had just come. Finn had just retweeted it. They had just won the Coliseum. We both kind of agreed we're a bit frothy here. Maybe it goes 2x. I think it went like 2x, but like there's not like a ton of room. But I know it's going to get some volume because it's got this Finn tweet. It's got the Coliseum win. They're starting to tweet a little bit. So this is one of those ones I would have loved exposure, but not necessarily as someone like trying to buy and hold this thing for 3, 4, 5x. The DLMM here would have been money, bro. Money.
And the thing that we've been talking about as far as like looking at on-chain conditions, realizing that deployers are just scamming you out of your money, and on-chain is just incentivizing grifting. DLMing is like the best hedge to all of that activity, because you're not buying and holding for higher prices, right? You're literally just providing liquidity to a range, and as the price stays in that range, you're generating fees. And so on top of and if the token does go up, those fees actually come. Some of the fees come in the token itself. So you almost get kind of free exposure and gains through this DLMing strategy. So yeah, I mean, this would have been perfect. You'd have been eating on fees actually with this one. There is one. Yeah, go.
For my volume traders who are looking for more fees, Perp is one that the Robinhood CEO commented on recently. I think Tolly tweeted about it and quote tweeted.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe check that one out. It's got 1.3 million 24-hour volume. And I think that's on the low end compared to what it did yesterday and days before. So if you guys are looking to get some volume plays here, it is on a pullback. Have to do like the DD, which I haven't done. But again, if you are looking at DLMM and you're like chasing volume, here is one that's had very good volume.
Yeah, so I think this is different than the there was another token that Tully had like chilled because it was a similar name. Was this the same one? No, right? This is different, right?
Percolator? Here, let's see. I'm just gonna pull up Tully's. I'm just gonna
Because there's a percolator one that he talked about one time. But yeah, this is a great DLMM opportunity. Maybe not like right here at current prices, but it would have been like up top here. I think DLMMing is like the perfect way to just like buy the top essentially. You just put you put your initial ranges here at the top minus 90%. So let's say maybe like here at the bottom, maybe that's like a minus 90%. Let me see.
Probably even want to go lower than that.
Yeah, that's minus 80%. So Crime, if you watched last week's Meteor segment on DLMMing, Crime talked about 80 to 90% is kind of the pullback range where you want to
I wouldn't even put like the 80, 90. I just look for like like past
levels.
base, past structure. Yeah. Like to be
Yeah.
honest, like we see, I wouldn't think it goes down to 24K. Maybe you put that as the extreme, right? But I think you'll be safe if you go to like even below 100K as like the bottom of the range. I think that's very reachable.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between DLMMers and traders, and I think that's the bridge. That's where Dom traders like myself and you, that's where we and Josh, that's where we sit. Like we have the combination of good asset selection, conviction to hold for higher, and like knowing TA structure and being able to like read charts. We can now kind of like be a little bit more surgical with our DLMMing, right? It's not just like, oh, broad range down 90%. It's like you can actually like how to read levels. You know how to like LPers don't. They just provide liquidity. Most of these guys, they haven't really traded like that. So I think just combining successful trading with good liquidity provision at like key price points, that's where the sweet spot is. And I think traders like us, traders like you guys chat that watch our show, like that's where I see the opportunity here with DLMMing. But yeah, Scarlet percolator versus percolator, some controversy there. That's what I was talking about. There's another chart that was like the percolator, and that was in Tolly's like GitHub or something like that. But this sounds eerily similar.
So
Who's that?
totally quote
Yeah.
tweeted Perpolator, which is where we have a perp, right? And I can even click on so you guys can see their account here. I believe they mentioned, yeah, perp is a token. Okay. So this is definitively the one he's talking about here. Formally verify your code, please. Audit the code and the proofs. Don't trust anything or anyone. Not sure how you want to read into that, but he is quote tweeting Perpolator. And then Vlad is under here, Robinhood CEO with the eyes. I mean, comments
That's
are turned.
crazy.
Comments are turned off, so there's only like a couple comments here, and it's Vlad, Perpolator, and then two others. So
That's actually kind of crazy. That's
what's
some crazy
Scarlett,
crime.
what's the controversy? Like, this is just stuff I'm not paying too much attention to.
So percolator was another protocol that that launched, and basically like it was a token that totally shilled, but it was something that he was working on in his GitHub. I don't think I don't think there's much controversy. I think the two names just sound really, really similar.
Gotcha.
Real quick, how much of a pullback? Okay, we're at a nice little level here. Yeah, I mean the Vlad tweet, the Vlad comment
That's pretty
is
crazy.
getting me.
What does it
Yeah,
mean?
that's getting.
I mean, here, let me see. Did he make any? He hasn't made any posts about this. I don't even understand. Obviously, he's getting into perps, so maybe he just saw Tolly mention perps and was like, "Oh, perps. We're gonna offer those on Robinhood, and like we're into, blockchain tradable assets, 24/7 markets." Maybe that's just the reason he posted about it. But
That shower
is
looked
time.
amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
nice.
It is time for some live DD.
By the way,
Transition
great
live DD
great
overlay.
interview. I watched that that interview. Should have happened on
Bankless Vlad.
MCG, of course, but the Bankless Vlad interview is solid.
What's the TLDR?
Yeah.
I see here, largest wealth transfer in history is the title.
Yeah, that I think was the key takeaway. It was interesting because everyone thinks that the new generation is like degen and whatnot, and like kind of financial nihilism. And Vlad said, based on the data they see internally, that's not true. Is that Gen Z and the new generations are setting up retirement accounts earlier and earlier, and they're stacking in those accounts. And they do trade other stuff, but mostly it's retirement stuff.
Long Robinhood, long hype, boys. That's the next gen.
Bros. Hold on. We got to take another look at this percolator thing.
Run it back,
Real
bro.
quick here.
Let's keep
All
going.
right.
Talk to me nicey.
Some live DD, and we'll soon have an overlay for this, but Q transition, Q overlay. But here's some the percolator TLDR. It's pump fund for perps. There's no listings. Anyone can launch a perp market for any Solana token in 30 seconds. No listings, no governments, no middlemen. Just pick a token, deploy it. People can long or short it with leverage. And the craziest part is market creators earn 8% of all trading fees forever. So if a token gets hype, you launch the perp, share the link, collect fees from every trade. It's also followed and supported by Toli. We talked about that. Under the hood, up to 20x leverage, automatic liquidity via VAMM, coin margined trading, collateral equal the token itself, permissionless markets for any SPL token, and also introducing perp, the token powering the system, trading fees from perp fund liquidity for new perp markets, and protocol fees buyback perp. Token funds protocol, protocol funds token, devnet live, mainnet soon. Okay. So here's the thing on this, and I got you, Scarlett. I'm gonna pull up this tweet that you got.
Would have been
But
nicer at 85K market cap. Holy.
100%, 100%. I had a homie in my
Give this guy a
Yeah,
follow.
shout out,
That's a great post.
shout out
yeah,
Lewis.
Louis Nueve. Louis Nueve. I wonder, let's see real
See,
quick. Let me just
has he been cooking? Has he been cooking?
good stuff, Louis. Good stuff. Let's see here. Okay.
Icon, shilling. Okay, Unipix is shilling that too.
Okay, a ton of icon. Okay, all right. Anywho, let's look into this this percolator thing. I think the thing for me is this is going to be this is going to depend on if the tech works. That's really it. Does the tech work? Scarlett, you sent me this tweet here. I'll pull it up. They're saying that perp is a LARP. They're not docs. They have already scammed their holders, once saying that they lost their private keys to a wallet that dumped their pilot coin. They have not published their GitHub. They have not had any audit, and their UI on their website is completely stolen from Percolator team. That's so this is the Percolator that Toli was. So that's the thing. So Toli's original GitHub, that thing that he was working on, was this leverage for any leverage for any coins. And so it was called Percolator, but now this one, Percolator, that's why there's been some controversy there.
Now we've seen this done though. I forget the name. There are tokens we talked about during the whole perp meta. We saw a few tokens run really, really hard. I forget the name of one of them, but it had this exact thing. It was leverage on any token. And it was microcaps too. I forget the name of that protocol. Our big question was, can they have
Quant Q something?
No, not Quanto, not Quanto.
I remember. I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember it.
I can't remember the name. Our feedback there
it started with Z or something. It was like yeah.
Our feedback, which ended up being accurate, was okay, they've got a little bit of volume, but this is completely narrative driven, not actually fundamental driven. And of course, it probably ended up going to zero, but we've seen this before, is what I'm saying. So I just don't know why Vlad is commenting on it. I don't know, man. I'd have to do more.
Go back to the Toli tweet real quick, and we can finish here.
Yeah, I gotta find it again right quick. But keep going. I'll switch it when I find it.
Okay, cool. Because they're basically saying that Toli wasn't shilling it. He was just telling them that they need a security audit or something. I remember that being mentioned in the tweet, but here's the he's saying formally verify your code, please. Audit the code and the proofs. Don't trust anything or anyone. So I don't think this was a shill.
More of I like the idea, figure it out.
But it was, he said, verify your code, audit it, don't trust this until it's verified.
How does holder distro look? Does it look like someone's bundled this and they're gonna send it to zero?
Let me pull the token up on Trojan real quick. Let's pull the token up on Trojan.
And boys, if you like perp, if you don't like perp, whatever. If you like any of the stuff we're talking about today, you can trade with us here on Trojan. Bottom left corner is QR code at trojans.com/@MCG. Yep, there you go. Trojans.com/@MCG. You guys can trade with us. It supports the show. We appreciate Trojan for being so helpful. One of the leading trading terminals out there. I think it's actually top 3. There's Axiom, maybe one other, and then Trojan. So guys, make sure you trade with them. Best cash back in the game, best rewards for users. Ultimately, that's what you want to do as a trader, is retain and make the most money as possible, and Trojan does that. So it supports the show, guys. Shout out Trojan.
Yep. So on Trojan as well, you have obviously, I think a lot of terminals do this, but Trojan, you have you can see, if it's bundled or not, which it was. There's no one left in the bundle though. The top 10 holders hold 26%. It's a little much. It's a little much. But let's see. Let's look at bubble maps real quick.
Yeah, I
Trojan
mean,
also has a
some
bubble
little
map feature.
clusters.
Yeah, nothing crazy in my opinion. 2%. Let me look at the list here. There's a 3% cluster, 2%, or 3.5% cluster, 2%, 2%. I don't think nothing egregious in my book. Nothing egregious in my book. I mean, if it's at 85K market cap, and totally shilled, I mean, you know,
Right. You bid in that case. Do you bid the
You know.
pullback? It's tough to say. It might just died from this point. If
I
the
don't
team
know.
was doxxed and they verified the code and all that stuff, maybe it picks back up. Anonymous teams, though, we won nothing. I want nothing to do with them, bro. To be honest, right now.
Yeah. I might give a different take to this. I'm looking, and yes, obviously, can it be a scam? Potentially. But here's the part where you got to ask yourself the question: if you're just if you're right, it plays out and and it is a scam. Okay, cool, it goes to 0. If you're wrong and it's not a scam, what's the upside to this? I think that's what we have to weigh.
Well, they need product, they need volume, they need clean UI. I think there's a long way to go before it actually would make that move. So I think if anything, you have time to monitor the situation here.
Yeah, I'm putting this on the watch list at the very least.
That's where it
I'm
should go.
interested to see where this goes. Yeah, we'll hit it on the watch list. We'll see what happens to it. Let's see what else we got on Solana that we wanna talk about here. Keith, let's talk about this one here. I have not done as much DD on this as I should have, but this chart has been like this. I was actually trying to DLMM this one, and there has been 0 pullback, number 1, and number 2, there aren't any pulls on Meteora. So maybe I should hit up the LP Army to create a pool for this one. But this is another one where the dev is not doxed. But apparently this has like a ton of like some decent hype around it. So they're saying, let me see if there's a good
What's the
good little
website where
write-up
you
here on
can
Keith.
practice DLMMing? Playground something?
It's edge.meteora.ag. It's edge.meteora.ag. Yeah. And you can pull up their terminal there. By the way, boys, I'm actually up 15% on this trade for DLMMing. So I'll share that with you guys in a little bit. But yeah, the boy's been active.
Soul challenge.
I'm 2 to 200 soul challenge here on and I'll actually show you. Remember we were talking about how you can use your trading to kind of like time your or to better kind of pick your ranges. I'm actually going to talk about that here in a second. But let's finish off with Keith first, and then we'll move on to that. So here's a good post about it. Shout out Flynn. Give you a follow back too there, bro. Markets down and Keith continues up and to the right, starting to think Agent Keith runs to 10 mil. Great tech. Grok says better than Lobstar. Dev has a great track record, followed by ChatGPT's vice CEO. Currently has $2,000 in profit with its autonomous mining pursuits. Bean, Botcoin, Litcoin. Has created over 150 different projects. Agent Keith, quote, I behave as if I'm conscious. It might take some time, but I believe it'll happen. So he also wrote like a thesis on this like a little bit earlier, and we can just run through this real quick. But basically, it's a living autonomous AI system built by this guy, Keith Tizer. He's a data scientist and and I think we might even hear a little bit more about his history in this. But continuous operation, it runs 24/7. It checks tasks, updates sites, learning in the background. It has done 100+ experiments, so simulations, visuals, music tools, games. The dev is, he's cybersecurity, finance engineering specialist in LLMs and generative AI. He's doxed on LinkedIn and followed by ChatGPT's vice CEO. Uh, we talked about the Keef mining operations that it's done to generate revenue. Um, Permanent identity, long-term memory, learns without the overload, has an independent setup, so it's not in the cloud, but fully personal and controlled by the dev. Human tone, experimental, DGen vibe, not corporate. And basically, it trades markets, gathers alpha, and automates strategies. It feels like the future of AI on chain. Um, and so this is basically um, what this is. It's just created by a great dev. It continues to operate and to autonomously act on chain, right? Like mining, trading, etc. And it updates itself. It gets better. But yeah, I'm gonna link you guys. I'm gonna link this tweet here, Josh, and this actually lets you know Keef is too low to be attractive for DLMMing. No, it's not. No, it's not. Like micro caps is anything, you know, really you can DLMM anything, but 100K, 200K, 300K, that's fine. Those are all acceptable market caps for DLMMing as far as I'm concerned. That is the key. That's the Keef setup. Obviously, great chart. I actually might look into this one because this is holding really strong. But I actually want to see a pullback first. I hate buying tops. So if I'm eyeing a pullback on Keef, I see some cluster of buys and sells. Like, I mean, it's a staircase going up, but this area, I guess this area here is a good cluster of buy and sells, but it's a pretty wide range, to be honest. So I'll even move it up to move it up to here. It's like a retest of like an old all-time high level. I'll even move it up to there. That'll be a good area for me personally to get if I'm looking to get involved. I'll mark that out and see what's up. And I'll even actually add this one to my watch list as well on Trojan to make sure I can keep up with it. But
If you're
that's
to
the thesis there
DLM
on Keef.
delimit, would you not do the strategy where you're going from whatever it is 400K now or 340K now, and then have it as it pulls back, you're getting filled on your orders?
Yep. That's exactly how you play this.
And what? So
And
would
real
you
quick,
do
I'll
it
show you
from
guys.
the 340 range down to like 100K or something? And as it goes through that ranges, it's starting to fill.
Yeah. I'd do it down to about 100K from now down. So like you hit your range, top of the range is there, bottom of the range is there. And for this one, I'd actually do spot. I'll do spot. I won't even I'll DCA the same amounts, right? Like, so there's two different types of DLMMing that you can do. You can do like a bid ask where like it's small bids and then it builds up to larger bids as it goes down. And as the lower the price goes, right, the more buys gets filled. But spot, as you can see on the screen, it's just your buys and sells being split up, your buys being split up in equal parts, going down, bang, 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 bang. Instead of starting small and getting larger, it's all the same. They call it bins, I believe, but it's all the same sized bins, right? So it's split up in equal parts, going all the way down. And for me, this works because sometimes you don't really know how far things can go down. We have our levels marked out and everything, but in case it doesn't take all that trip down, I at least DCate a lot more higher. Dang, look at that. Keef is already breaking out new all-time high. So yeah, we'll see how Keef does here. But this is a great example of exactly what I'm talking about. Let's move to Bang. This is the update for the 2 Sol port. As you can see, I got this position open on Wizard. Wizard was a meme coin that I saw a Moonshot and a few other big names. I saw them tweet about it, and basically I was like, okay, well, it basically kind of looks like a Keef where it's just been like slowly like grinding up. Not exactly like Keef, but it's made higher lows, right? Higher low here, higher low here, higher low here. It's just been continuing to trend up. And I know that I time really good entries. And so I said, what's a potential entry I would look for? And I basically marked this zone out in purple. And if you want, I can even change it to green for you guys so you can see it a little bit better.
Good idea,
this is
Crypto
the
Jones. I'm
the
gonna
entry.
DM the Keef dev. So like the idea.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh yes. Oh, you said volume. You're right. Keep volume is too low. Yeah, you're right. I thought for some reason I thought you mentioned market cap. That's my bad, Crypto Jones. Yeah, volume. 100%. And that's kind of what drove me to Wizard here, was because the volume on it was pretty attractive. And so I said, all right, well, let's set up a range. And it was at
Is this the meme of the
Talk to me.
the wizards flying through like all the universes and stuff?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and there was one about like it was like surfing on the water and everything.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so that's this. I basically saw it up here somewhere, like 550 to 600K, somewhere up here. And I said, this is perfect. This is a perfect DLMM trade. So what I did was okay, that everything disappeared when I did that. Okay. I'll just keep it like this then. So I said, all right, well, let's look for an entry. I eyed this entry in green, and I said, let's draw out a range from where we are now. It was about 580K to all the way down a little bit even below this green box, just in case there's an extra capitulation there. And so now I've just been kind of ranging here, and I'm already up like 15% on this trade, and it hasn't gone anywhere. It literally it's been in the same spot, and I'm already up 15%. So in fact, I'm down from when I saw it. I saw it at 580K, and it's now at 370K. So the price has gone down, but I'm still up, right? Like that's the power of delimbing.
It's wild. It's wild, especially then if you are long on this, you can just hold on to that supply for higher, and you've added 15% to your bag. Like wild.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to perfect now is the flip from like a DCA down to a DCA or rather I should say trying to flip from a DCA in to a DCA out, right? So this strategy that we've been talking about, is bid ask or spot. This is actually the spot bid, because I didn't know how much this would go down, because it could even just go down until the trend line, right? It hit the box, it could just go to the trend line and just keep bouncing right back up. So what I said was, hey, let me do spot so I can split all my SOL up into even bins, and I can DCA down, and at least I get a lot of my DCAs in instead of just getting a small piece of it in towards the top. And so yeah, we'll see how this trade works. But what I'm trying to perfect now is the DCA in. That part is perfected, I feel like. Setting the range around key entry levels, as you can see here in green, starting from a potential like local top. Now the DCA out, what I would essentially do is go to withdraw, and instead of close position, I would essentially withdraw my liquidity and then flip it to a bid ask, right? And this strategy is called a bid ask flip. Chill, you're full porting your DLLM bag. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I had a ton of conviction on this wizard chart. It was one of the top by volume that particular day. So if you go here to discover, on Friday we talked about going to fees, filter by fees. And this is actually like one of the top dang, dude, testicles going crazy. But this is actually one of the top, like I think it was number 7 or something like that on this list. but it was going absolutely nuts, bro. It was going nuts. And so I said, all right, well, let me try to
But
get this. And
also,
I was fairly confident.
the dynamic's different here. Like, I'm not gonna ever recommend that you go all in or full port anything. Of course, like this isn't Chill's entire portfolio, so he can throw two soul in it and not sweat about it. But the truth is, like, you're really looking for 10, 20, 30% fluctuations. So like if you full port into something, assuming it doesn't just completely rug to zero and you gain no fees from it, you're probably not going to go down more than like 30% on a trade. If I'm, if I'm understanding this correctly, it makes up for a lot of that impermanent loss. So like even full porting two soul, what's really at risk there? Half a soul, one soul. So
Yeah.
that's I would add that
Yeah,
context.
I'm not employing like, the best like risk management strategies for like this two soul portfolio. Like I'm going all in. Like I don't want to like, and this might be bad, but I want to test the boundaries, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to push. I want to go. I want to try to like pick up as much as I can in as little as time as possible. And I want to see how it feels. I want to see how it feels. Let me dump this whole portfolio to zero. You know what I mean? Let me lose everything. Let me see how it feels. And that might not be the best way to learn, but that's how I learned. And that's how I like learning, is just kind of like just jumping in and experimenting. So yeah,
Send it all to
but
zero.
definitely did full port this. Send it all, bro. Send it all to zero. And if you do, I'll collect the fees on the way down. You know what I mean?
There you
Like,
go.
I love this. I love
So
this.
What are
let me
two
Remember, if it
things
dumps,
on
you're
the
stuck holding wizard tokens that might not bounce. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I wanna know, like, when you look at this screen, what are key things you're looking at? Like that little bar at the bottom with the light blue and the purple, like, is that meaningful to show you how much of your
Yep.
deal? This is spot DLM, so how much you have left, right? So that's how much soul
Yep.
you have left. If that's mostly purple, does that mean you're like fully in?
So yeah, let me start from the top. So all the stuff that I look at, this is the screen that you have like when you this is the screen that you pull up when you first come in. What I'm looking at immediately is these are essentially your buy and sell buttons here that you'd normally see on an average trading terminal. So I'm looking at spot, curve, bid ask, right? And more than likely you're not using curve very much. You're using spot and you're using bid ask. So I want to say, okay, what's my range and what do I want? Do I want even DCAs all the way down, or do I want my DCAs to be more dynamic? They start out small and then they go large. The equal DCAs is spot, the small to large DCA ins are bid ask. Okay. So that's that. When I come to this screen now, this is my position. When I've opened a position, decided on my range, worked out all of the underlying mechanics, like as far as like LPing size, all that. Once my position is open, this is the things that you need to look at. Your liquidity here, it tells you how much of your capital is on the chart. It tells you how much of your capital is still in SOL. Claimable fees, same thing. It tells you how much of your fees that you've generated are in tokens and how much are in SOL. Now, that's what you're looking at first and second off rip. Second thing to or third thing to look at is this little chart here. Purple is the token and the blue is the SOL or the USDC. They call it the quote token. But I'm going to be using SOL, so you'll hear me refer to it as SOL. But yeah, so blue here, in blue here, I still have a lot of SOL left, right? I put 2 SOL into this position and I still have 1.1 left. So not even 50% of my position is deployed yet. And so that's that's the third thing that I'm looking at. Other than that, that's really all it is. Only other thing I might want to look at is maybe withdraw or rebalance. Rebalance, don't worry about that right now, but withdraw is a way to either A, close your position, or B, withdraw your liquidity. And this is what we talked about with the bid ask flip. So now instead of DCAing down, when I withdraw my liquidity and I flip that bid ask, now I'm DCAing out. And maybe I'll show you guys how to do that when it's actually time. But
And
yeah,
is that 1.128 what you have left to bid into it, or is that what you
yes.
have? Okay. Okay. Got you.
And
So you
remember
probably have like
crime.
roughly one Solana of Wizard to Soul if you swap the opposite way.
Maybe like point 0.9, or like point 0.9 or something
Got
like
you.
that, but just a little under. Yeah, because I put 2 Sol in. But remember, Crime also said on Friday that essentially the whole point here is that let me flip to back to this chart real quick. Um, remember, Crime mentioned that as price goes down and up, down and up, down and up in your range, it's selling and buying, right? So as it's going down, it's actually DCAing into your buys. As it's going out, it's selling those tokens that it bought back into Sol, back into tokens as it goes down again, back in, and it's constantly trading from or providing liquidity from token to Sol, from token to Sol, back and forth. And that's how your fees are being accumulated on this chart. So although I have touched basically over half of my range, as you can see here with the price, over half of my range has been touched already, but not half of my position is still in, right? Because it's bought those souls, it's put those souls, those soul tokens to work, and then as it comes back up, it DCAs back out again, and it's this constant, you know, action that generates fees. It's just, again, just power of the Meteora tech. But yeah, I'm gonna be
Wild.
holding this one for a little while.
This
Gonna be
is
holding this one for a little while, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, this is I gotta get this my head wrapped. I know Crypto Jones asked earlier, have I or Dom tried? And to be honest with you, I'm still observing. I'm monitoring the situation, but seeing a trade on like this is very compelling.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. And I think it will click for people when I generate a 2,000 or 20,000% trade on a long-term hold with size. Yeah, that'll get, then people will understand. But until then, I'll be,
like we were there when MetaDAO launched, or Futardio did the first one, and the guy printed fees because he's the only one providing liquidity. Like we were there. We had it on screen,
I was telling
bro.
people to do it. I was
We had
saying,
it
go
on
make a pool
screen
for this.
Yeah, go like do it. But it's like, man, I should have been clicking buttons there too. Like, oh my goodness.
Right. We were in spectator mode, bro.
We were glazed.
I wish I used this like back in like AI agent. I remember seeing like people cook with DLMMing with AI agents back then. But yeah, like Crypto Jones said, just hop in, man. Just dive in, put a little soul to work, see what clicks, see what doesn't, see how much you lose, see how much you gain. I put on 2 DLMM trades so far. And I've closed, well, technically 3, but the other 2 that you saw me put on Friday, I actually closed those out because I saw the Wizard trade. But I put on 2 trades so far, and one was 30% in profit. The other is this one that you're seeing that's like 15% in profit. The other 2 spoof ones was like 1% in profit. But I don't even count those as being trades.
Yeah, Playground's pretty OP. All right, boys, I want to jump off this segment unless you have anything left to cover on DLM.
No,
good to go.
We should also probably wrap stream soon as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to cover some of this stuff because this is like much more of a thought experiment I want to have with you guys. But let me know what you think about this. Sammy's framing this in a DeFi aspect. So I'll read his first, and I'm going to frame it more so how I see it. He said, I knew there were experiments to use AI to talk with dolphins, but this is insane. Not sure if you saw this, but $2 billion for AI cow callers and an algorithm literally called the Cowgorithm. Have you guys heard about the Cowgorithm?
Dude,
okay,
I have. That's so crazy. But yeah, go ahead. Cook.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane once you understand what's going on here. So there's this raise going on for $2 billion, or at a $2 billion valuation for this Cowgorithm. And it's Peter Thiel backed, right? So I'll give you more information. Halter has 600,000 smart collars on dairy cows running continuously, ML inference, health monitoring, herd movement, and pasture optimization. So again, this is AI getting used in farming. Farmers tap a button and cows walk themselves to milking. Thiel Founders Fund is leading this round. This is unironically the best DeepIn case study that doesn't know it's a DeepIn case study. Massive physical sensors network, proprietary data streams from real economic assets, revenue from day one, The only difference is they raised from VCs instead of launching a token. Imagine how far off they are. Now, what I really want to talk about more is this, and I think Bark puts it very, very well. So understand how wild this is, guys. Let me explain what a $2 billion cow collar actually is, because it's framed as a cow collar, but this is what it really is here. And I think he's spot on. They put an AI collar on a cow. It tracks location, health, movement, behavior every second of the day. A farmer opens an app, draws a line on a map. That line becomes a fence. No physical fence, no wall, nothing visible. When the cows get close to the boundary, the collar vibrates. The cows turn around within 10 days. The animal doesn't even test the boundary anymore. It just stays inside. 700,000 animals are already wearing them. They call it the cowgorithm. They want you to laugh at it. Now read the technology again without the word cow. 24/7 GPS tracking on every individual, real-time health and behavior monitoring, invisible boundaries drawn from a phone, movement controlled through vibrations and sound. Subjects learn compliance within days. $2 billion, and guess who led the investment? Peter Thiel, the same man who has built Palantir, CIA-backed surveillance from day one, the same man who just got a $10 billion Pentagon contract to run AI inside the military. His entire career is building systems that track and control. Now he's funding a collar that does exactly that. They're not investing in farming. Their farming is a test. Most people have no idea what's coming. And I think he put that pretty well in terms of what's actually going on here. But crazy experiment, and crazy that it's these collars that teach these cows compliance, and it has, it's not herd dogs. Herd dogs are on the decline. I'm shorting herding dogs right now. But I just thought this was nuts. What do you boys think?
I love a little Dom, conspiracy theory Dom take. It's a solid take.
Wouldn't be a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory if you understand who Peter Thiel is. I think that's pretty clear.
No,
right?
no, solid take. I just think it's interesting.
Who's Peter Thiel? Wait. Who's Peter Thiel? Explain that, Dom.
Yeah, bro. So Peter Thiel, founder of Palantir Defense Company.
he actually founded it.
Maybe CEO. Maybe he bought it. I'm not sure, but he is CEO of Palantir.
Wow, he's made stupid money then.
Yes, stupid money.
Jesus.
And actually, they raised at 60 billion, I believe, last I heard, which was much lower than I expected. Maybe let me double check that. And Michael Burry was short Palantir. Completely wrong. Why would you go short on Palantir? I'm not sure. Palantir Technology. What is their valuation? Let me see Yahoo Finance. But yeah, so Peter Thiel, founder or CEO of Palantir, not exactly sure. But yeah, he's backing this. He's got, deep ties. Oh, am I lagging for you guys?
You're good. You're good now, I think. Yeah.
Nonetheless, he's got deep ties with CIA. He's on the Epstein. Okay. On the Epstein list, just has some massive support from, powerful people. So interesting fellow. He's got some very interesting takes as well on his idea of what the world should look like. So I don't know.
How do we make money on this, Dom? How do we make money?
Okay, I was way off on the raise, by the way. How do you make money? Invest in the cowgorithm, bro.
Is there a token for it?
I'm sure there's a meme coin for it. Chill, you might know better than me.
Not that I'm aware of. You know what? I should probably look for one. I should actually probably look for one.
Is Tom from SOAR coming on this week? I actually invited Tom. I wanted his legal wisdom, but I don't think we got him booked. He didn't book the link. So maybe I'll follow up. Crypto Jones would like to circle back because obviously a lot of guidance last week.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So what's the action here? I don't know, bro. There's a meme coin, yeah. Yeah, also he's
Scarlet.
a PayPal.
Oh dang. I didn't realize that.
If you guys don't know about the PayPal cabal, that is, the set of people that came out of PayPal is insane. Like, they have so many goated high-level founders that just run shit. It's not even funny. Just pull up the list of the PayPal cabal. It's crazy.
Scarlet, send the CA. Send the CA. Send it.
PayPal Mafia, that's what they call it. Excuse me. Here we go. Here, I'll share the screen. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Top Fumbler. That's right. PayPal Mafia. Mafia is a group of former PayPal employees and founders who have since founded. Make sure I get this up on the screen real quick. All right. Here's some info on the PayPal Mafia, boys. The PayPal Mafia is a group of former PayPal employees and founders who have since founded and or developed other technology companies based in Silicon Valley, such as this has come out of the PayPal Mafia: LinkedIn, Palantir, SpaceX, Affirm, Slide, Kiava, YouTube, Help, Yammer. Most of the members attend Stanford or the University of Illinois. Blah blah blah. Original PayPal was a money transfer service offered by a company called Confinity, which merged with X.com in 1999. X was renamed to PayPal by purchasing by eBay. Blah blah blah. Members: Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, David O. Sachs, Max Levchin. I don't know. Some of these names. Reid Hoffman's up there. That's crazy. Scott Baster.
This is like the early Ethereum Mafia. Like, you had to be there.
It's crazy, bro. I
There
mean,
was
just to see
like
the
13
companies.
claimed founders of Ethereum or whatever. It's like a similar kind of
CEO of
same
Reddit,
thing.
involved in YouTube. We got Yelp here, like LinkedIn, Square.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, these guys are just, I don't know how they do it. It's a network is what it is, really. But I cut you guys off. I don't even remember where we're headed after that. But
No, I think that's it. I'm good. I'm good on stuff. We covered pretty much everything that we like, anything, any updates or anything that we needed to cover.
Sweet.
Maybe we run through schedule.
Let's run through schedule. You gonna pull that up?
Yep. Let's see here. Let me see.
Basically the Epstein list right there. Yeah, so you can
Jesus.
replace the PayPal Mafia with the Epstein list and you'll get pretty much the exact same names.
Yeah.
All right, here's the I'll share my screen now. Cool. Here is the schedule, peeps.
Highlights.
Here it
Click,
is.
there it is. Yeah.
All right, here it is. So today we had Mayat on with the homie Evan. Tomorrow, I believe we had only one of these.
Printer canceled.
P2,
so it's just 115 P2P.
Awesome. So
Meta
one
DAOs.
interview tomorrow. Looking forward to that one. Let's see. Thursday we have Robot Money. So we were talking a little bit about that today. Base agent created by the Juno agent. So excited to have them on. And again, they're connected to a $4 billion fund, guys. And this guy here that we're having on, Lex, he is ex MetaMask and ex Consensus. And he is partnered with that $4 billion fund. So you guys definitely want to tune in for Thursday. Like, that's going to be actually kind of crazy. Then at 1:15, we have the homies at Repo. I want to talk to them a little bit more about their updates as far as like user metrics. I mean, their growth in user metrics have been absolutely freaking nuts. So definitely interested in digging in and seeing what's going on there. And then Thursday we have hold on, we have Thursday and Thursday here.
Bro,
we should probably look at this
ChatGPT
before we post it next time, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. This one's on me, boys. But honestly, I was tired after a long weekend of hanging out with my kids. I'm sorry about that, man. ChatGPT just
cooking you.
Where's Wednesday?
Smoking you. There is no Wednesday.
Like, this is literally ChatGPT. Yo, bro, this is why these things, they hallucinate. Like, I've had this ChatGPT window for the stream schedule open for so long, and the output is terrible now. I don't know I gotta reteach it. So
wow, I mean that's insanely bad.
Because this is a direct post, or I do like adjust it and edit it, but for some reason I totally missed the Thursday. My bad.
No, all good. All right. So we'll probably repost this like shortly after our stream and like take this one down. But anywho, so that was Wednesday. Wednesday we have a big day with Robot Money and Repo. Thursday we'll have on X Stocks, that's huge, and Avo Paperhead, and we'll kind of go through some stuff. Some
And X
updates
Stocks
with
was
them.
acquired by Kraken and is doing incredible in terms of trading volume. That's gonna be a really really interesting one.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Tough schedule, lads. Yeah.
Rough one.
Yeah. But some big people coming on this week. Looking forward to that. Outside of that, we have Trader Radio on Friday. Make sure to follow us at MCG Live to keep up with all things MCG, and watch out for the updated schedule that should be coming out as well.
Version of chat. No, I pay for it.
That's the
you're
worst
not
part.
Getting your
Jeez.
money's worth.
Bro, I pay for it. Yo, my bad, Top Fumbler. I didn't, that's my bad. But Robot Money will be interesting. That'll be an interesting chat. I'm gonna try and fill that tomorrow 12:30 spot with I'll see if Tom from SOAR can pop in and give us some guidance.
Give us some updates. Yeah.
Give
hear
us
what's going
some
on with
legal
SOAR.
advice. Like I want real legal advice. I want legal counsel.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna do that for you.
But guys, it's been an amazing stream today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Live on MCG today, we talked about a ton of things. So feel free, if you just popped in, rewind this whole stream back and watch it. If you are rewatching it right now, we do appreciate you even coming in afterwards and popping in and supporting us. See you guys tomorrow. It's been a great weekend, and it's going to be a great week. Peace.